Welcome, this is the Whiskey Roundtable. I'm your host, Joe Clark.
Big G.
I'm Elbert Santilli.
And Karen Helen Keller.
We want to thank you for joining us tonight, and also remember to view us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. If you want to join our show and be a guest, you can please remember to bring a bottle of your favorite whiskey unopened. We do understand if it's something rare that you can't buy in any of your local Giant Eagles or local liquor stores or wherever. You have to get it out of state. We'll consider that definitely if it's something rare like a Pappy or a Weller 12 or what have you. You can figure that out. On tonight's show, we are actually featuring kind of a continuation of where we were earlier this week. We were at Lizzardville, where Buffalo Trace had joined us, and they had a few offerings. They had the Weller 12, the Weller Antique 107. They had a couple of the E.H. Taylors. They had Blanton's, and they had Elmer T. Lee and Stagg Jr. on pours. So we're kind of going to continue that today. We originally had picked out another drink. We're like, Greg had brought up an idea that how cool would it be just to continue this on and kind of redo our opinions on a, not a work night or whatever. We relaxed a little bit and kind of reset our palate, and let's go through this again. Maybe my palate changes. Maybe I like Weller 12 more than the 107 tonight, or I just kind of want to see where it goes.
Sounds good. So again, we're gonna, the Buffalo Trace product is obviously our favorite, as we always have. It was our first show, and we were able to sample all of these that you see on the table. We were a little I was a little disappointed in the Weller 12, but we'll come back to that during the show. So anyway, what do you got?
It's not like a disappointment, like we didn't like it. We just thought with all of the hype that surrounds it, like it was going to be, we were going to open that thing and pour it in the glass and smell it and drink it.
And your life was going to change.
I've met Jesus. I can go to heaven now. And that just kind of didn't happen.
I was going to wash my hair with it.
The hair on your back?
Wait a minute.
What are you talking
My
about?
new
I can't really wash my
Whiskey
hair.
from
Okay, we're going to wash Albert's hair with it.
Leave my mother out of this. She's passed away.
Oh my. All right, so guys, let's kick this off with what do you got on cigars?
So what we're smoking today is what we've been smoking the last couple of weeks is a Royal Havana house cigar. Dave Somrock at Royal Havana Cigars. This is a Nicaraguan filler, Ecuadorian Habano binder with a Maduro wrapper, Nicaraguan Maduro wrapper. So Dave Somrock at Royal Havana Cigars over there on Lakeshore Boulevard. He's kind enough to supply us with our cigars and our lighters and our ashtrays. So, Dave, thanks again. I appreciate you. I know you're going to be on the show here pretty soon, but just want to say thanks again. Good guy. Go see him. If you mention you were sent there by the Whiskey Roundtable, you will get 10% off your next purchase. So, look him up. You won't be disappointed. Again, Lakeshore Boulevard and Lost Nation Road. Can't miss it. All right.
I love going there. I like the lounge. It's got a 1960s feel right
Are
when
you ready to go now? Is that why you're getting up?
Well, that's the end of the show tonight, guys. So we're going to head out.
It's a family show.
I gotta go.
Dear Lord.
All
I gotta go pee.
Are we interrupting you today?
Are we there yet?
Nice pocket protector.
Oh. It's not Albert tonight, it's Michael Douglas.
That's nice. That's
Michael
nice.
Douglas from
Did your
Falling
grandma
Down.
buy you that for Christmas?
You know what? Don't go to the cigar lounge. I hate that place.
Now,
Looking like a trigger.
That's nice.
I'm trying to understand the traffic jam that happened.
Did your mommy knit that tie for you?
I'm the bad guy?
Shoot.
You know what? I'm sitting here watching Albert look at you, and at the same time, I'm looking at the Little Rascals picture with Alfalfa looking that way.
Yeah, where's your little alfalfa here?
He's kind of like Alfalfa. You're
well,
awfully protective
no,
of that
alfalfa
cord,
is much better looking. But anyway. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway.
I apologize. Go ahead.
A little sidetrack.
When the opportunity's there, you got to take it.
What are the cigars today, exactly?
So the Royal Havana Cigars, this is our house cigar.
Okay.
I already described the tobacco. Good cigars. Dave supplies us with all our cigars and our lighters and our ashtrays and everything else that has to do with cigars.
Just their house brand cigar.
It is their house brand cigar.
That's the medium cigar you were talking about last episode.
Yes. So, no, that was another cigar that
Okay.
Dave had given us. This is one of our original, the first cigars we smoked here. I love this cigar. It's a great cigar. It lasts long. It burns very nice, as you can see. It burns very nice.
And I see you did the V cut on that one.
I did do the V cut. So, Dave, besides the cigar lounge, he has a boutique, so you can get shirts and ashtrays and lighters and all kinds of stuff. You can get all that there. Plus, Dave does, I always say me because I'm usually the guy doing it. But we do events. We do, Christmas parties, we do weddings, we do all kinds of stuff. So, if you are interested, look us up and we'll give you the information and, you can give us a call and we can hook you up. So,
how was that event today? You were down there, you and Karen were
the
down
event was great.
The event was great. It was Alec Bradley. Alec Bradley. This is the second time that they've been to the shop for a cigar event, and me and Karen, we sat there with people we knew, obviously, and we were surprised how many $300 boxes of cigars that rolled out of there. People were buying them by the box.
Not only that, but you guys were drinking what?
Oh,
Tom Hardy. I just keep thinking Lawless. I'm sorry.
Thomas Handy.
Thomas Handy.
Can I just think Tom Hardy for a minute?
Tom Hardy.
Okay.
Oh.
One of the Hardy boys.
Very good.
One of the Hardy boys.
Is he thinking the naked people right now, or?
Tom Hardy.
Okay.
Chicks dig 'em, man.
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, Thomas Handy, we were drinking.
So are you
Thomas
smoking the
Handy,
same thing,
right.
Karen?
I am not smoking the same thing. I picked up while I was there, in addition
Just
to this
straight
really
weed.
cool sweatshirt. Like you said, it's a little boutique restaurant. Restaurant.
Yeah. Good.
Shop.
You're
Anyway.
doing great. Keep going.
Well, sure,
I finally
no,
get
no.
to talk. Now I'm so excited. You guys have me all flustered.
They're hiring waitresses.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Wait on this, Joe. Anyways, I am smoking a Java Mint cigar.
Drew Estates.
Drew Estates.
Maduro cigar.
It's a fantastic cigar. Even though it's Maduro, it's not strong at all.
Drew Estates also puts out the acid line as well.
I was going to ask that because you guys, it kind of triggers some Drew Estates. That's the Blondie and that other one.
Yeah,
you were
so this is
smoking.
Java. This is a different
and-
line. That's a box press cigar. So we carry a lot of.
okay. All right.
Carry a lot of.
Put that up to the camera. That's so.
lady
Greg
cigars
has a
as
round.
well.
He has a round. That's square again, right?
If they can see
Drew
that
Estate.
Java,
That's
there
up
you
the
go.
ass line.
Java cigars. So we
There you
do get a lot of women at the cigar lounge. There was probably half a dozen women there today at the event. We do specialize in some boutique cigars, if you will. And again, just like the acid cigar, Drew Estates does a great job. And the Java cigar is another cigar nobody will ever complain about. So
Yeah, you know what? Austin just complimented me on that the other day. You told me about the Java square pressed. Excellent pricing, and he was just telling me, he's like, I like that Java. I gotta get that. You can't find it anywhere.
yeah, we
Yeah,
carry
they've
the
got a
full
great
line of
inventory.
Java. We carry the full line.
Those
of Java.
smell really good too. I like that.
Yeah.
It's got a nice aroma to it.
Yeah. So
Reminds me of my
mint.
high school days.
Ah, yeah. Okay. So
wanna
yours
try
is
this?
Right. No.
Okay.
Still
that's-
lingering a little cold.
I know,
think
I
you
hear
got
it.
something going on too. So we're gonna.
That's why we're drinking whiskey.
That's right. Cough medicine of
Oh,
champions.
hot
And today,
times.
actually, I can smell more. So this will
Oh,
help.
good.
Maybe it'll change
Well, Greg
my
showered, so that's good.
why don't should I show the?
Yeah,
picture?
what I was going to say is, so we're kind of doing a comparison. Our first comparison is going to be the Weller 107 and the Weller 12. If you want to go ahead and
I
pan
will.
up to the camera.
I just want the audience to understand that we've already indulged. So
Yes,
that was a full
actually,
bottle. It's a third gone. And
I get the fancy glass.
I actually cheated a little bit, so I had some 107. I had two, and I'm actually on a. Originally tonight we were going to do early times bottled in bond, and we're saving it for another night because we thought this would be pretty cool to continue on from earlier in the week. And I'm actually having a little early times right now because I wanted to do
You
my
cheater.
little personal comparison
You
after
cheater.
having one than the other.
What?
It hangs well with the Wellers. It does.
I bet it clears up that cold a little
Well, Elbert's,
does.
Elbert's
It
been
does,
known
yeah,
to hang
and
well as
Sudafed.
well. So,
bit. Well, I technically hang
so
well.
listen, I'm going to show that antique.
Really?
Okay.
Seriously?
Antique 107.
Me too, dude.
You guys are stupid.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, what?
Huh?
Yeah, he brought it up, man. So there's the fave, the Antique 107. Yeah, about that distance from the camera is
Let
really
me show
good.
you that.
That's
how
my
much-
fave. I
that's
love
how
it!
much we drink.
Yeah, we just
Already.
opened that.
We just opened
And they actually had an antique special edition. It was a Winking Lizard edition over there
They did. And that was
Wednesday
very good
night,
as well.
and it was fantastic.
Kick off
I'm
that
gonna,
12
I'm gonna
there.
pull. I'm gonna pull that. I'm gonna pull that. Got the 12 right here.
Yeah.
And that is actually
That black label, though.
Black label.
it's on the metric scale. It's a liter.
Yeah, that's the bigger bottles. Do you want
They're all
to compare?
milliliters and liters. I was just
How come if we never
Far
converted to
above.
the metric system, like we sell alcohol in liters here? I don't
right.
understand.
Yeah. Most cars are all metric.
Yeah. So, well,
Anyway.
we're in
So we
the
have those.
European car market, but anyway.
And then you also see in the camera there's a Buffalo Trace single barrel.
Single barrel?
There's an Elmer T. Lee. We have E.H. Taylor's.
Which
We got
one
the
is
E.H.
that?
Taylor small batch. We got the E.H. Taylor single barrel. We have the Stag. We have Blanton's. We have Eagle Rare. And these are all things
Hey,
that we
what's the-
sampled.
Craig, what's the proof on them stags? Are they
Um,
different than each other, or are they the same?
No, these are the same. They do make a different proof, but this one here is the 131.9.
All right.
We ain't playing.
Woo!
Where's
That's what I'm
Sidecar?
talking
He'd
about.
be in his glory right
That's
now.
lights out. That's
Wait a
that's the
second,
last
wait a
one you
second.
drink. That's lights out.
Yeah,
I
same
do
thing.
know the answer to that.
So we have the Blantons. We have the Eagle
Think I
Rare.
do.
Where's Sidecar?
No,
And,
the milliliter thing that you
we
were
have
talking
the-
about a moment ago.
Elmer T. Lee, of
Elmer T.
course.
Lee. Yep.
And this was
These
one of
guys
the
are
first bottles that the first show we did.
1825.
The Buffalo Trace single
The turn of
barrel.
the 20th
Gotta
century.
have that
These
label,
guys are
kids.
immigrants
Gotta have
down
that
in
label.
Kentucky.
That's the Flex
I
pick,
Looks
wanna
like
keep
that it
that
is the Flex
tradition.
pick.
and that's from third
Coming
base,
over to
right?
This is from third base out of California.
Oh,
Okay.
you know,
As a
that's
matter of
great
fact,
point.
any of you that are interested in
Living
the
up to your
Buffalo
pocket
Trace
protector,
single
right?
barrel, if you go to third base, they have two barrels out right now. They have, I believe, the 106 and the 111. I believe this is
You
the
are
one,
correct.
the 111.
And Third
So-
Base is a website. It's not
It
a
is.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a website. So
That's my
$21.99 a
sexual
bottle
proclivity.
plus shipping.
That's less than what we pay here for regular.
Correct.
I pay $28 and change.
So it's got to have that label on
Yeah.
it. So I buy this 6 or 8 at a time. It's my favorite drink. Is continuing our first show.
10 times the drink of regular Buffalo
Amen.
Trace.
Amen. So,
Yeah.
if you any guys that are watching the show and girls, if you go to third base on your phone or whatever, your computer, you can order that. You have to sign up and put all your information in. FedEx will deliver it. You have to be home. If you're not going to be home, or maybe you have a business or you're at your business, whatever address that you put in, they give you that option. They will deliver it so that you will always get your order. Very successful. I've been
sign
dealing
for
with
that
third
order?
base for a long time.
Do they make you sign for that package also?
They do make
Yeah.
you sign because you have to be 21 years or older. So
Okay. All right, so we wanted to give a little shout out to some of the people here. I know we keep saying commercial break every now and then. We will have commercials here soon. It's just a time thing for a lot of people because we're all very busy. Plus doing this and the other businesses. I'm going to shout out my own thing here. It's Premier Luxury Automotive on 5116 Richmond Road in Bedford Heights, Ohio. We do pretty much any kind of vehicle you have, up to a half-ton truck, half-ton, three-quarter-ton SUVs like his Suburban, stuff like that. We specialize also in high-end cars, German cars, Audi, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, and I also do a little stuff on the side that we'll be getting into in the next year's kind of speed shop type stuff. I'm really into muscle cars myself and building muscle cars.
Hey, I just, not to interrupt you, but I
Yeah.
saw that post that Ryan Blazek put out there about the Kia beating the Mustang.
ate that
That's actually
Mustang
false.
for lunch.
No, it did not.
Ate it for lunch.
It did not. Don't
Ate
even
it like a Big Mac at 2:30 in the morning. Go ahead. What you got?
Wrong.
What do you mean?
That's a lie. It was a total commercial for Kia. That's
Dude,
not that.
that
Dude,
fucking Stinger tore
okay,
that
stop.
thing up like a
That-
bomb date. What are you talking about?
I've driven that. Have you driven that Stinger?
No,
I have.
I won't. Am I going to get in that Stinger?
Yeah, you are. It's a big car.
I got more room in your Mustang. Don't look at me. We're looking. Why
Did
you
I
eyeballing
even-
me?
I'm telling you right now, that car alone, that Mustang alone, I've driven both of them, and that Mustang alone, without breaking a sweat, would stop that car a full second the quarter mile. That's a bullshit fucking ad, and I'm stopping it right there.
Well, we got.
That's all I gotta say.
We got a friend that's got a 200 mile an hour Mustang.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
We have a couple that have well over that.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, let's get back to whiskey.
Sorry.
Here. That was a douche move. But anyways, so we have the Premier Luxury Automotive on 5116 Richmond Road, and that's in Bedford Heights, right around the corner from Lizzardville. And
How
so we
convenient.
have that, and we definitely again shout out to the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. We love you guys, Hank, Carl. Thank you for letting us be the premier. It's funny, premier automotive. I guess you could say your main number one video podcast for the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op, the Whiskey Roundtable.
Hank, Carl, thank you again.
You guys
Yes,
can do your
thank you
thing.
guys.
Shout out to Royal Havana.
You gave us, yes, thank you, Dave Samrock at Royal Havana Cigars. Hank and Carl were actually getting your logo that you gave us. We're actually getting that printed, so that's going to be on the wall as well.
Right over here on this side of the wall here, behind Albert.
Hank and Carl have been fantastic with to us, good guys. So if you're not in the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op and you have ties to Cleveland, join. There's a lot
Absolutely.
of. I mean, we have members all over the place. So California, Arizona, Florida, just to name a few.
And please be respectful of the rules that
be respectful of the rules.
they have posted out there on their
You'd be
Facebook
surprised,
page.
just like us here. Me and Joe, we collect. We're collectors of bourbons, rare bourbons, scotches, and Irish whiskeys, and we have, as you see it here on our table. We have a lot of products. So a lot of times we do offer that to the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op, and what we do is we sell at cost, at what it cost us, and if we're traveling and picking stuff up, we charge an extra $5, which I think is pretty much standard with the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op.
Yeah.
We're not. Elmer T. Lee. It's. I don't remember the price of it. I'm gonna say it's $35 to $40. But if you look on the secondary market, that's a $150 bottle, which is ridiculous. But just to kind of give you guys, but whatever it is. So say it's $35, you would charge us. Say okay, it's $40 a bottle. It's
I'm going to tap into that a little later too about that CYPB.
Yeah, let's get into that after we taste that antique. So.
As far as the pricing goes, on what even retailers are selling for, which I think is kind of disgusting because. I understand the secondary market. I get it. If you want to pay for something, you want to overpay for it because you got to have it, whatever. You do you. I don't care how much you pay for a bottle. If that's what you want and you don't care and the money is disposable, that's fine to me. But if you're a retailer, even on the internet or a storefront, you should not be allowed to sell that much I'll tell you the price of the CYPB on the internet that we found on one of our sites that we actually order booze from. So we'll get to that later in the news.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on, Greg. I think you gave Royal Havana Cigar, gave their address and everything like that?
I did not give the address. 38448 Lakeshore Boulevard, Willoughby, Ohio, 44094.
Dave is a great guy. He's a really good dude.
Very
hi, Dave.
fine
I know I don't see you enough, but hi, how you doing? Miss your brother. And then you have?
Yeah, before we move ahead, I just want to say these cigar events and whiskey tasting events, they're really cool and sophisticated. And I run my own jazz ensemble out of Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
The name?
What's your name?
It's called the North Coast Jazz Ensemble. You can look up the North Coast Jazz.
You do a lot of clubs.
Collaborate with Tony Kazel. He's a prominent funk, groove-based drummer out of northeastern Ohio, and he got his music degree from CSU, and I have a background with a jazz studies background out of the University of Akron, so I came out of the whole funk jazz scene after living in Akron for 5 years. At any rate, I teach private lessons, so if your son or daughter is looking to find out what to expect in college and in private lessons, improving musicianship, sight reading skills, improvisational skills, and simply, how to act professional and interact with other people, other musicians, and people in the workforce for, life lessons. Again, I teach private lessons, and you can look up the North Coast Jazz Ensemble.
Amen. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to get to the, what are we trying first? Are we going to do right into the antique again?
Yeah, let's do the
antique. And remember, we only drink out of, on this show, the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op snifter glasses. Thank you again, Hank and Carl. That's how we roll on this show. That's all we drink out of. So let's get to it.
Excuse me. I just want to say one thing real quick before we move on to that. Rumor has it that we are getting our old Forsters here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So for the holidays, which would be great. So that's the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. What do you call that? A special
barrel
blend?
pick.
Barrel pick, if you will. Okay.
Yes.
So anybody that's ordered stuff, me and Joe were invited to taste that, pick it out, help pick out, which was great. And then they
we'll
did
release some pictures of that. I'm sure they will in the co-op.
Yeah, and then they also came out with the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op came out with the New Riff. Yep. So that again, that's a pick as well. So if anybody that I think some of the New Riff is still available.
I was drinking New Riff.
They're going to. I think I just heard they had some extras left over, so
I don't know
they should
if
be advertising
I think
that.
they're still counting the bottles, so. I don't know if it's still gonna. If it doesn't happen, don't be mad here. I'm just saying that I think they had some bottles left that they may offer to. And again, I don't have that 100%, but rumor has it if there's some available, they're gonna offer it to the club again. So just keep that in mind.
I want to give a big thank you to the people out at Kent Stage. The bartender was really great. If he's listening to the show, I know I turned him on to the Whiskey Roundtable and the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op as well. Those guys, the New Riff, the New Riff's doing an excellent job.
Terrible.
They had it behind the bar. As soon as I saw that bottle, I said, I'm going to have some of that. So
Yeah,
that was a remarkable night.
It is good. We have that on the shelf over there. It is good. Before we go on, tell us about your experience last weekend down in Kent.
Well,
oh boy.
All right, so
we didn't get a call at 3 in the morning to be bailed out.
Where's this going?
So.
Oh, that's right. You went to we did the show, and then the next day.
There's a new band, there's a new project. A prolific jazz artist of mine. His name's John Medeski. I'm a big fan, and his new project from New Orleans was his second. He was on tour, and he came to Kent, Ohio. It was the second show of the tour. It's called Mad Skillet. I highly suggest you check him out. But I think where Greg's going with this, I had a funny story where. At the end, I got an album, and musicians lined up after the show, and I was all just nerding out. So I'm all giddy, and I'm standing in line, and I got the album. Did you
have that same outfit on?
I had this outfit on, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So I'm surrounded by these
Right,
looks.
Did your mommy know?
Cops around the corner.
Did your mommy know
he's
you
a
went
cop,
there?
he's an undercover cop. But,
my God.
so I give the album to the drummer, and he goes to sign it, and he goes, maybe you should unwrap it first, don't you think you should? And I was like, sorry, excuse me, I'm holding up the line, you go ahead of me. And so I had to take the cellophane off the album first to try, so the marker could actually stick to what he was writing on. So I turned bright red, I'm embarrassed, and then I get to John Medeski, it was just really nerdy time.
So what was your conversation?
So thanks for bringing that up, I guess.
What's your conversation with John Medeski? Why don't you talk about that? Huh? And they almost threw you out of there. Go ahead, let's hear it.
Oh yeah. So,
were you being a groupie?
So then I finally, shake the drummer's hand, shake the sousaphone player's hand, and now I get to the beloved John Medeski.
The man.
Oh dear.
So this is his new project, Mad Skillet, and I go, John. I did a harmonic analysis at the University of Akron. I studied your work. I love it, and it's great. And I transcribed the solo note for note, and I wouldn't be playing jazz piano if it wasn't for you. And he goes, okay, all right. And I go, and then I'm just like, no, seriously. And he goes, whoa, all right.
Security.
Yeah,
security.
All right, I guess Right? They just looked at me and they was like, all right, we believe you. And I left.
So the second half of the show, which Albert skipped right over, but the second half of the show, Albert stood at stage front and listened to their music.
He threw his panties on the stage?
I think he was thinking about it.
Took off my tie.
Panties?
Yeah. And he stood stage front and... I guess it was a little uncomfortable for everybody, but that's all right. But anyway, he had a good time.
Doing the shower dance.
I'm glad he got to meet his mentor, so to say. So, good job. All right. We're not very proud sometimes of the things we do, but we've all been there. All right.
Just
go ahead.
I think it's restraining order.
Really
not sorry, John.
Well, a restraining order's coming. Trust me.
Is that like a once a week thing? And
let's hope not.
Right here?
I don't know. We can take that.
So let's start. What are we kicking off with first, Greg? 107?
107, brother.
Dish them bad boys out, buddy.
I'm gonna pour it up. Okay. All right, we're back.
Welcome back to the Whiskey Roundtable.
All right. So, listen. Before we oh my goodness.
Dear Lord.
Where was I?
Before we get back,
a couple of things that some of the notes on here are they're calling it's it's full body. It's full body flavor. So you're going to have that spice.
It's good.
Okay. 107 proof. You're talking about. Excuse me. Talking about oak. Talking about spice, and you're talking about rich caramels. I do smell a little vanilla in there right off the note, but they're saying that those are the things to look for. Excuse me.
Did they say vanilla is going to be in there, or are you just picking that up?
No, Buffalo Trace is known for anything. In my opinion, that I've had from Buffalo Trace, there's always that smell of vanilla in there, and it's a. You need me to get up?
Okay.
There is the. You have that smell. It's so to the nose. It smells anything that they have.
It's unmistakably Buffalo
it is.
Trace.
It is.
You always recognize it. Yes.
Just like that the ride that I had Thomas Handy today.
Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy. I said it wrong too.
Okay.
Thank
Tommy
you.
Handy.
No, that's
No,
Thomas
you were
Handy.
right. I just
No, she
changed
keeps
it.
saying Tom Hardy.
Would you quit doing that?
Like I would always say CYBP.
You like
It's
his
actually
app workout regimen, don't you?
CYPB, but I just can't say it.
That's right.
It just doesn't come out.
Detail to app.
So there.
Ding,
So those are the nose. So that's what they're saying. So I do smell all of that in here.
So we're going to let this sit and breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
And, obviously today it's just the Whiskey Roundtable. Our guest is basically all this friggin' whiskey on the table there.
And Joe's
so Big
favorite
G,
tickle
you wanna,
bottle.
like, part of this is your show. Give a little whiskey backstory for all of us, or just off the top of your head. What do you? How did we come along this journey? How did we do this? What happened?
So
How did we all start getting together and collect?
well, I was never.
It was a dark and stormy night.
It was. I was with Father Grabnuts, and
Joe came
on
over
a
in just a
camping
pair of
trip.
shorts.
But,
I don't want to hear this. I want to hear this.
Alright, so, I was never a bourbon, Scotch, whiskey guy. Period. All of my friends were big into whiskeys and bourbons, if you will. Now, whiskey and bourbon are the same thing, as you all know. And I was a big beer guy. And Joe, you're the one that actually got me started on it. And a friend of mine, Jimmy, is the one that got me going on Scotch. And which I end up realizing later, I came home and told you, hey, I had this Scotch, and it was Balvenie, and I really, really liked it. And then you started introducing me, because you're very diverse in Scotches, much more than I am. And you actually got me drinking bourbon and Scotch. So I don't remember off the top of my head. I want to say it was Bullet, but don't hold me to that. That was my first bourbon that I drank with you. What did we drink?
No, actually it was regular Old Forester.
It was Old Forester.
Their bottom line, bottom shelf, regular Old Forester. It was like at the time I think.
So if
I paid $14 or $15 for it.
So if I remember correctly, I had some surgery on my knee, and I have a couple friends of mine that are doctors and surgeons, and they told me that because I was a huge beer drinker, I drank a lot of microbrews. Great Lakes and all. There's a ton more now out that when I got started in it. My friend Michael from K Carbody, he's the one that turned me on to microbrews, and I was drinking that like crazy. I loved it. Every weekend I was like, couldn't wait to have a beer. And so I was having knee surgery, and my doctor friends said, listen, you're going to either have to quit smoking cigars or quit drinking beer. And I said, why is that? And they said, because...
Stop smoking cigars.
So I just told a great cigar story today. But, I said, well, you know what? I was always the type of person, if they took alcohol off the shelf tomorrow, it was not going to affect my life. And so I said, well, I'm not giving up cigars. I'll just stop drinking.
I know, right? Did you just
So I
hear
did.
that?
Fast forward to now, but anyways, keep going.
Yeah, right.
So-
It was back in the day.
Yeah, so anyway, I quit drinking beer for like 6-7 months. So I think it was the holidays.
Yes.
And I said, you know what, it's the holiday. And I still wasn't drinking even after my surgery for a few months. And it was the holidays, and I said, you know what, I'm going to have a beer. So I don't remember what beer I had, but I popped it open and I took a big swig of it, and I was completely turned off. And everybody looked at me and they said, "What's wrong?" I go, "Man, I don't like it. I don't have the taste for it anymore." And you said, "Well, here, I got something for you. I want you to try this," and it was bourbon.
No, that time, that first initial one was Glen Ross.
Oh, Scotch.
That was Glen Ross.
All right. So and that started, but I know that we had like every weekend after that. You had me drinking.
I went into bourbon right after that, actually.
And that's how I got started in
Select Reserve.
Select Reserve.
Yeah.
And
Was
you
that
were
about
like,
10 years ago?
holy shit!
It's been almost 10 years.
It's about 10 years ago.
I want to say about 6 or 7.
Yeah, he's about 7 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
for him, yeah. Wow, I've been
So-
drinking whiskey a long time.
Yep. So anyhow, I acquired the taste for bourbons and whiskeys, and it's been so. Then we started collecting
Before the co-op, well before the co-op, and we've watched the prices, especially on Buffalo Trace stuff, kind of just
Creep
like
up.
that. Because I remember getting Eagle Rare for $23, $24. We used to get Eagle Rare 17 here locally for $39.99.
What does
or
that
maybe
stuff
less
run?
than that.
What does that stuff run now?
$70, $80, I think. Isn't
Yeah, I
it?
think retail is $70 or $80. Buffalo Trace, the regular bottom of the barrel was in the teens, 15 maybe at top. Tops was 15. Old Forester was the same thing, 13 to 15.
Right.
A lot of my favorites have just skyrocketed in price, and it's probably because of supply and demand. They couldn't give it away then, and because I remember at the liquor stores, the Scotch section was huge,
Right.
and the bourbon section was like a few rows everywhere. You know what I mean? And now it's like it's very even on that Scotch and bourbon, and the bourbon's actually kind of encroaching in on all that, but It's interesting. It's cool. It's sad at the same time because I used to love being able to go out and just pick out whatever I want. It was a lot of bourbons were cheap. Even Blanton's was a lot cheaper. Yeah,
Blanton's, I
you
think,
didn't
was
have
like
trouble getting a lot
upper
of stuff,
30s, lower 40s.
Yeah, right.
And now it's up to $60.
upsetting.
Yeah.
That's upsetting because it was cheap then.
Yeah. So
So,
it's
yeah.
your fault that we didn't get into this earlier.
Yeah.
We could have had
Right.
a lot
Yeah,
more
we didn't
product.
care. We just. I mean, it was we appreciated the whiskey, we appreciated the way it tasted, but it was like we bottled that day, and me and Greg finished the bottle that day. That's how it usually
We
went
did.
here.
Good times, good times.
So we ended up.
It was simple.
I know,
It was
I've-
simple.
I've had those
I
days
kind of miss
too.
the simplicity of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have OCD when it comes to alcohol, so I'm always on the hunt, and that's why I think we have the products that we have, and I'm always striving to get more and have the rarest of the rare. So as you see here on the table, we have accomplished that
Quite a
duty,
bit, yeah.
and I don't quit. So
That's just a small section of
right.
what is available here.
But it's fun.
It's
we started this podcast, not we, Albert, and his idea, and Joe,
No dog.
and
Thank you.
these two guys, they have a knowledge of radio, and Joe has a knowledge of bourbons and scotches and Irish whiskeys, and
It's a fantastic love
we
affair, some may say.
we were basically every Friday night here at the Battaglia House. We
Casa Battaglia.
Casa Battaglia.
This is the Casa Battaglia, by the way.
So
that
we sat on
that
the
we
porch
always-
a long
here.
time for a couple of years, just sipping on the weekends and relaxing and enjoying the yard and all kinds of stuff.
Making fun of each
Good
other.
food, making fun of each other. So here we are. So are we
We
going to do
always
this?
gave our own. Actually, let's jump into. Karen has some history here.
Oh,
about the
sorry.
distillery.
I apologize. My bad.
I know.
Hurry up. I'm
And other
thirsty.
various histories.
You've been drinking. Good. Yeah, so I just pulled some things together quickly because this is like a last minute idea. Like Joe said, we were going to do early times.
We prepared for a different show.
Yeah, so pulled some stuff off about Weller. It's named after William LaRue Weller, who was born in 1825. He's actually the first to produce straight bourbon using wheat instead of rye. in the mash barrels.
1825.
He was born.
Yeah. He died just I don't know.
Last week,
right?
Yeah. I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
He
That's why
died
the price
at
went
the
up.
turn of the 20th century, 1899.
1899. Yeah, I think I remember you saying that.
Smells good.
It does smell good.
Back in the 1840s, he was serving with the Louisville Brigade, which I didn't know what that was, so I checked into that. It was actually a group of military units from Kentucky who fought for the Confederates
Oh, Confederates. Yeah.
in the Civil War.
My bad. Civil War. Okay, I did say so.
Back that up again?
In the 1840s, William LaRue Weller, he was serving with the Louisville Brigade.
They were
And-
Confederates.
And they were, part
Wow.
of the Confederates
No kidding.
in the Civil War. After that was done, his tour was over, he returned back to Louisville, and that's when he decided to go into the liquor business.
Well, he did a great job.
In 1849. That's when,
1849? Is that what that says?
when he first produced his weeded bourbon. Yes, 1849.
And actually, because it was the first weeded bourbon, it was so popular, he was forced to put a green thumbprint on all the barrels so that everybody knew this was the real deal.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
Right.
cool where you came. It's got to be a green thumbprint.
That's my shit. Hold on.
I don't know. I don't know how hard was
Is that
it to
a
get green
thumbprint or is that a
get
mushroom?
green
I
back
can't
then.
tell.
Now you know.
I don't know.
Now you know.
Now we know whose bourbon that is.
You guys.
Some of the ladies in town. Oh, I know that one.
I know. I've had that one before.
That's that mushroom stamp.
Whiskey wins.
Oh my goodness! Clean it up, boys.
I got so much to say right now.
All right.
So I also read that Pappy eventually merged with Weller at the company, and they reformed A.P.H. Stitzel Distillery
Stitzel-Weller Distillery. Okay, that's how that came
and
about.
formed the Stitzel.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. You said it.
Stitzel-Weller.
Stitzel-Weller.
Yeah. Nice.
That explains why he did so well. Alert.
Keep it up. I'm gonna put another pen in that pocket protector for clean.
It's gonna be a leaky one too. 107 was actually introduced in 2005.
Yes, it was.
As part of Buffalo Trace Distillery's antique collection. And this year it won some medals. It won the gold medal at the LA International Spirits Competition and a silver medal in New York's International Spirits Competition.
Nice.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
All right, let's take a nose on this, even though Albert's drinking it.
But yeah, I think Albert's empty.
I cheated too. I had a little shot. I mean, god damn it, what is this, like the fourth glass at this point?
Yeah, all right.
Let's take a nose. I've already drank it.
Hey, please. My father's watching this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
I'll watch my
Sorry,
language.
Dad.
He only had two.
I wonder if my dad's watched this yet. I'm not sure yet. He's probably
It was
gonna call
apple
me
juice
like,
before.
Dude, really?
Both your
Language?
fathers are probably crying right now.
You
so-
fucking idiots.
Yeah, go ahead.
Grow up. I'm like almost 40, Dad.
Wait. Almost 40.
I don't agree with it. I don't agree
Oh,
with
my
it. Okay.
All right, so I am.
Oh my god, it's delicious, even on the nose.
Yeah,
it is
right.
good.
It's one of my favorites. That's why we're going to be partial to this one, because it's fucking good.
This does burn hot.
I'm gonna be
Yeah, I know
basic
You and
bitch
Greg
on
like
this
the
one,
higher
man.
proof. You're used
Smells
to it. but
great,
It's
tastes
always
great.
been hot. It's been
Buy it.
It has some heat to it. It
Like
does.
it does.
It
Yeah,
does
it's got
have
some heat
but
to
it's
it,
not.
sure.
It's not.
It's not like 12 heat, which
That's
is
good.
funny because it's 17 points less the 12 is, and I think well, I don't know, maybe we'll change. Well, let's see. Okay, let's not talk about 12. Let's talk about
I'm
the
hitting
18.
mine.
Let's hit it.
I'm
Let's
done
do it.
talking to you
All right.
guys.
I got caramel. Very sweet. A lot of fruit on this one for me on the note.
Definitely Buffalo Trace. Pick
Definitely.
that up immediately.
You definitely taste the oak in it.
Buffalo Trace Aroma. Definitely, yeah, you definitely smell some oak.
Ah, a single teardrop came out once the full flavor hit me.
Alberto!
Giuseppe.
You guys are killing me.
It's so good.
It is very good.
What do you think of this, Alberto?
Again, it burns really hot, and you can
So
feel. I
good.
like that feeling though, in a weird, odd way. You can feel it all the way down your
It's a
esophagus
good
until
aftertaste.
it hits
yeah,
your
It's got a
belly.
great aftertaste.
Warms you up in the winter.
But it
It
doesn't
does warm
burn.
you up. It doesn't burn. It's just a
Doesn't
little
burn.
heat.
It's not
Just
harsh.
warming.
It's
It
not
just-
harsh. It's just, yeah, warm.
You know, you get the spice as soon as it hits your tongue. You get the spice, but that goes away.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
like
got a
this
great
one.
flavor. It's got a good aftertaste.
Yeah.
As
I taste
well.
the oak.
You know,
Definitely taste the oak in
So
there.
back to what we originally came here for. We were at Lizzardville on Wednesday for a Buffalo Trace tasting, and we we have Weller 12, and we didn't want to open it because I'm anal that way. If I didn't have 6 bottles or more, I wasn't opening it.
I think I got that like a year ago.
You
or more.
did. Actually, 2 years ago you got that.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I, Joe's been wanting to open it, and I said, no, I'm not opening it until I have 6 bottles. I'm not opening it.
He blocks me on
I do.
all kinds of bottles we get
You do.
until we have a backup. But
You gotta-
unfortunately, the
have
12
a
is
backup
something
to the
we may
backup.
not. It's unfortunately one of the ones you may not get a backup to it. And we missed the lottery and stuff like that. Not like we really cared, but because we're doing this and we're trying to make this a better thing for everybody else, including the co-op and all that. We want to we work a lot. I know it may not seem like when you're watching on YouTube, we work very hard on this show, and this show just doesn't cost us personal time, but especially soon it costs a lot of money to do, and we're going to improve the visuals for you guys a lot because we're learning about the techie side of it, and it doesn't come cheap, and it's going to happen by the turn of 2019 here, come January or something like that,
Or sooner.
and we're going to be able to stream to you in a really nice, very clear 4K. So just
I'm excited. A lot of things.
keep
in the
with
pipeline.
us here.
A lot of
Doing
things
some
in the
on
pipeline.
location
Yes.
ideas.
Yeah, we
We're
are
going to
gonna
be
do
doing
some-
some live stuff.
We're going to
too,
do
so.
some live stuff.
It's
But
coming.
back to Wednesday,
It's coming.
man. That was a really good time by the brand manager for Buffalo Trace Distillery,
Yes, it
Joshua
was.
Steele.
Josh was
Very
Steele.
nice guy and very informative. So, anyone following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you can see some of those pictures with us we got with him.
Correct.
All the way from Kentucky. Cool.
And some of
We
those
did
live
videos.
tastings.
We did
yeah.
live tastings with the. I should have done my rear camera on my phone, but I did the front camera. Sorry, but it came out really good. I think it came out good. The information was good. I'd like to hear more of your guys' opinions on that. But let's get back to this whiskey here. So Greg, and by the way, Albert, when he's tasting this and gives his opinion on it, Albert's favorite Weller is actually Special Reserve, and there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like Special Reserve is the bomb. Special Reserve has its place for me. I like sometimes the lighter, drink
Yeah,
to
it's
it,
just
and
the
it tastes good. It's
drinkability
very
of it.
apple.
We were drinking that last night.
It's very
We were
apple-y
drinking
to me.
Special Reserve
Oh,
last
yeah.
night. It was very good.
So.
And that's
although,
his palate. That's
although
the
I
beautiful
try
thing
not,
about
this
whiskey.
is my personal thing. I try not to drink during the week until
Me
we
too.
get
Yeah, I usually
we
don't.
have to save it for the weekends. But we were drinking that last night.
Well,
so.
yeah, we both had a
I
bad
break
day.
my rules every now and then.
I had bad news yesterday. You had a bad day at work, and I got home late, and we sat down, and we chilled out. We watched a movie, and
From dusk till dawn. You guys ever see that movie? Excellent,
We
man.
smoked a cigar. You fed me. We had a good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, he came home last night. He's like, Albert made me
That
watch
was
a
a
movie.
long
I go,
walk
you
home
watched a
across the
movie?
yard.
It was
What?
awesome.
Yeah,
man.
they
That's
live.
how good
He
the movie
doesn't
is.
do
movies.
actually live
I
next
don't
door
do
to each other.
movies. I don't do movies.
Can we just tell real quick? Can we tell the story about when we were at
What?
the movie theater?
Go,
Oh my God, this is the best.
So I show up with Greg and Karen.
So go ahead. Tell the whole
Train has
No.
derailed.
I'm sorry. This is.
Good.
this is classic.
We'll get back on
That's
track.
good. Great. Let's hear
So
it.
I
Let's
show
hear it.
up to the movie theater, and this particular movie theater redid their whole establishment. Leather chairs, fancy. You can buy drinks at the bar and go into the theater. Now, the three of us haven't been there since then. In fact, I don't. Karen likes the movies, but Greg and I hate it. You got bubble gum stuck to your shoe. There's a kid crying.
I haven't been to that theater since.
It's dark and it's quiet. And
Where is
nobody
it?
I'll
talks to
tell you.
you.
So
I
I'm
like it.
just gonna put this out there.
Where's
Just to
this
give
at?
you. This is Chagrin Falls.
Right up the street
Okay.
here.
I wasn't gonna
So
name
I
it,
have
but
not
whatever.
been to the theater since Sherlock Holmes with.
It was Christmas Day about. Gosh.
When would Sherlock Holmes come out?
That was a great movie. Sherlock.
I don't know.
Your boy was in the movie.
You're talking about
My
Robert Downey
second
Jr.
husband.
Robert Downey
My
Jr.
second
Robert
husband.
Downey
Yeah,
Jr.
they got another
So
one coming out, Karen. Sherlock
That
Holmes.
was.
Guys, I don't want to stray too far. I
right,
go
go
in
ahead.
with Greg, and he buys me.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's anyone that knows Greg knows he's got a heart of gold.
2009.
Very big heart. He buys 2 large
9 years.
Pepsis. One for I never had to ask for anything. He just, out of the kindness of his heart, he buys Pepsi and he buys a big tub of popcorn, and he's schlepping it into the theater too. He's got 2 Pepsis here and a thing of popcorn, and we find our seats, and Karen sits down first, and then Greg, and then me. But he's never, he's just such a nice guy that he's not making me carry anything.
What movie is he watching?
He sits down.
We went to see Halloween.
Halloween.
Because I love
Well,
horror
these
movies.
new leather chairs have buttons in the seat, and when Greg sat down, like his keys in his
Well,
pocket
so,
were hitting
wait a
the
minute.
button.
So wait a minute. So I sit down.
God.
And Karen
Oh,
reaches
God.
Oh, over me, and she puts her hand on my leg, and she's like trying to help me with the
Like hander?
popcorn and all that. No
Trying to get a hander?
And next thing I know, the
old
chair,
popcorn chicken.
the chair starts reclining.
Wait, Albert's got to do this.
Go ahead,
This
Albert.
is classic. What happened?
So what happens?
Oh, Greg cut a hole in the popcorn. No, just kidding. so he sits down and he all of a sudden he hits the button. He's going.
Well, I didn't know I hit
And
the
I hear
button.
he's like, oh, this is nice. This chair to go back. And then he goes, hey, what's happening? What's happening? Karen! Karen! And I'm left, dude. At this point, I am on the ground.
He's like, what the hell are you
in
doing?
Laughter.
Oh, Karen, stop it! What are you doing?
Albert, what's going on? He's like,
Meanwhile, my hands. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
doing it. Well, here I had my wallet.
Popcorn
I had
spilling
my
everywhere.
wallet, and I
They have the buttons next to your
Well,
wallet.
I had so
Oh
I
my
had, I was wearing these
Crying, laughing.
athletic.
I need a time machine. I need to see
There's
this.
nothing I can do.
I was
Just
wearing
phone.
athletic sweatpants. You know where they have
His yoga
leg-
pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had my yoga pants. My yoga pants. It just came from yoga.
They look great.
Yeah. First time I did yoga, I hurt like 4 people. But anyway, that's a whole different story. And my wallet was down here on the side of my
Imagine the
leg,
camel
close to
toe
my
on that
knee.
one.
And you are stupid. So my wallet triggered the button. And here I'm yelling at my wife, and she's like, looking at me
'Cause it's
like,
always my
what?
fault,
It
right?
is always your fault. And she's like, I'm not doing nothing. And I'm like, I'm sprawled out now, like I'm in the hospital. And I'm like, God damn it.
Popcorn falling.
No, I'm like this.
He's trying to counterbalance it while the chair's
So
going
I'm like-
backwards. He's trying to keep it at
I'm
the
like,
right angle.
I'm like in bed. I'm flat, like I'm on a freaking gurney. I'm laid out. Albert's laughing. Karen, and there's a whole group of kids. There's a whole group of kids behind me. They're looking like, what the hell's wrong with this cracker? So, and I'm like there, and I'm holding all the stuff, and I'm like, she's like, I didn't touch nothing. So she takes the stuff. Albert takes the stuff, and I'm like, I feel down, and I'm like looking for the button. When I find my wallet laying against the button, so I move my leg, pull myself back up. I'm just like,
Did I ever get an apology?
No, because
No.
it was your fault because we went to the friggin' movie. So anyway,
Classic.
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
True story. True story.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back on. Let's get back on a little track here, and so opinions on the whiskey.
We're drinking whiskey.
Wait,
After
that was a
camel
while
toe
ago.
and
We
yoga
gotta-
pants,
we gotta try it
Oh
again.
my goodness.
and movie chairs, and
All right.
balancing things on our chest for people to eat.
Well, speaking of balancing, it's a nice balanced
It
flavor.
is a nice balance.
Even though it runs hot.
This is a
to
good
me.
whiskey. It doesn't feel hot to me really. He does like the special reserve, so I get where he's coming from, and that's a beautiful thing about being I guess whiskey connoisseurs as we are. We all have different palates, and that's okay. That's fine. I mean, you could like I always bust balls about BV, but if that's your goal, that's your goal. I applaud you for that because I wish I can drink
I choose
every day
BV.
and every weekend for $8. But
Amen.
It's funny because as I've been tasting these whiskeys with you guys when I first started, I'm completely beer drinker, craft beer drinker. That's
Sure.
what I like.
right, she's the newest whiskey taster here.
But I like to drink, so okay, I'll do the round table. So I started doing these bourbons, and as, God bless you, the more that I'm drinking these, the more that I'm starting to acquire the taste for them. And I
That's how it works,
I jokingly said to somebody today, I'm drinking bourbon and I like it. And they're like, oh crap, because they already know me on tequila. So
Just don't go to the movies with her.
I have a question for you now that you actually said that. Not to, I'm sorry to cut you
no,
off
go
there, but
do your thing.
so in your journey so far, it's cool to document this maybe on the show. What's your favorite distillery?
Buffalo Trace.
Okay. What is your favorite drink so far from Buffalo Trace?
That's a tough question. I haven't had a lot to really compare.
Okay.
You like
So
the
it's
single
hard.
barrel.
It's hard for me to say. I can say that everything I've had from Buffalo Trace, I love. I like it. It's got, like I said, it's unmistakably Buffalo Trace. You taste it. It's consistent every time. I do like the single barrel. I
That's
do
a
like the single
fantastic
barrel.
drink, people. What he said earlier about that on third
Single
base,
barrel?
it is. Oh my
Third base.
god,
There you go.
dude! It is.
third base. If you're watching the show,
For the price.
it's third
Way
base.
My God.
Sign up, and they have a lot of cool stuff. And what's cool about third base is once you become a customer there, a lot of times when they learn your taste, when they get like the single barrel like myself or Elmer Teas or different things like that, you usually get the first email. So just something to think about.
The crazy thing is people complain about shipping charges on that and stuff like that. But now I paid for regular Buffalo Trace. I paid $28 and change after tax here, and theirs is $21.99 for the single barrel.
So basically, depending on what you buy, now
It's a wash at that.
so
point.
I buy in quantity, as we all know. So I
They
can
do that when you order there.
usually with my shipping, I $22 bottle ends up being $28. So at $28, and you can't get it in Ohio here.
That's a lot of money for a college student.
But if
you
you
know,
buy 5
so-
bottles from that,
Right, 5-6
that
bottles.
number comes down.
So
And
I'm
it ends up
actually
being cheaper than
I'm actually
Ohio's.
placing an order again tonight for some different bourbons that they have on there, and I think we're gonna get those Glen Rutherford that they have out right now as well.
We need to pick up
Sherry
some
cask.
other stuff. We'll talk about that. We're not talking
Yeah.
about that.
So Joe, I'm going to go back to your question because now
Yes.
that I've had a minute
Yes.
to think about it,
Yes.
I'm going to have to say my favorite is a Helen Keller pick, which is why I got my name, and we'll get into that. It is the Rested Rye from Jack Daniels.
Oh, man.
That is
Yeah,
my
that's
ultimate
If you
favorite.
can find Rested Rye batch number 2, if you can find it, it's as much as $500.
We're going to do a show
And-
on that. It's
And
fantastic.
I know you guys are thinking, oh, it's Jack Daniels, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah,
No,
that's
yeah,
what
well,
these
it's
two
not.
thought for a
It
long
is,
time.
but it's not.
Because I'm not, no disrespect to Jack Daniels, they put out a great product. I'm not a fan of Jack Daniels. Now, I do like their Gentleman Jack,
Yeah.
and
No, you know what? We are in a way. I think it's their regular Jack. We're not a fan, but they have their. I don't know if you've had it yet. Single barrel.
I have not.
Fantastic. We had Sinatra at
Yes.
Lizzardville, and that was
That was good.
unbelievable.
That was very good.
So they do have good offerings. They've been around for a long time. So when you start spending, you have to spend the money.
So
with
let me
them.
rephrase that before I beat up Jack Daniels. Is the old number 7, their original whiskey?
Garbage.
I don't like it. Okay,
It's
but
an extra.
there are some Jack Daniels out there that I do like. So it's unfair. My
Rested
comment.
Rye is
unfair.
one of the best ryes.
Rested Rye.
Dude,
it's probably
it's-
the best I've ever had.
And Helen Keller, reason why we call her Helen Keller, because she blindly picks these whiskeys for us.
I don't know what the heck
I'm
doing.
talking Scotches, Irish.
I bought it 'cause I like the
Tennessee's,
label.
bourbons, and she'll be like, I'm just making a guess. I'm not trying to make her feel stupid or anything. Oh, this looks pretty.
No, I
she
am.
picks it out.
Yeah.
And
That's
we're
how I
like,
pick my
oh,
horses
God.
when I go to the
It's like
track.
literally, we've let them sit for years at a time. Some of her picks, and we go to it, and like, because she'll get pissed. I mean, the Rested Rye night was like, what the fuck, you guys? I bought this for Greg, his birthday, blah. You guys never open it. You never want to drink the stuff I pick, and we were like, cracked it over, like, God damn, this is one of the best
It is.
drinks we have at our bar.
Everything
So-
she's picked has been fantastic.
So Gentleman
Yeah.
Jack. That's one. Right?
Gentleman Jack.
Gentleman
Gentleman
Jack's
Jack is good.
So-
I like it. I can't drink a lot of it because it is very sweet. They have a lot of. I don't know if they have a lot of sugar in their drink or whatever, but it kind of gives me the wine headache.
And shame on us, to you listeners, shame on us. We do a lot of history before we do the show on different things, which is obvious. We have not done any history on Jack Daniels, so obviously there's a method to their madness. So we're just going to have to learn it. I want to get back to.
Let's get back to the whiskey.
I want to
here.
get back to the tasting at Lizzardville. Okay, so.
Okay. We
So
got
this
stories.
this is my so if you guys watch any of the
Those two
pre-clips
videos in the corner.
on YouTube of our tasting, we did live.
Heather.
Joe did live.
Facebook.
We've done
actually.
Facebook Live, actually,
Yeah, Facebook
because they're
Live,
short
right.
enough to do
Okay,
Facebook Live.
So,
Yep.
so all the hype about Weller 12, and this is just my personal opinion. Okay. So we had never
heard
had
this
Weller.
yet.
We had never had Weller 12, even though we have it. We've never broke open a bottle.
Joe, you never tried Weller 12 before that night.
No.
Really?
Same. None of us.
I've had some of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection lines. I've had just about. I've I've had just about all the Pappies. I haven't had Weller 12
Really?
because their retail was like $32. The retail on that one, the liter I think was around 50. And that came from Hank. Thank you, Hank. Thank you.
I find that shocking, but now
We will open it.
Yeah.
Just haven't had time.
Well, Greg's waiting to buy 6 of them.
I
So
won't let you.
Gonna
anyway, Greg, I'm sorry, Greg. Go.
No, that's okay. Joe says that, but I'm not listening to him.
No, you were doing your spiel.
Maybe for trade. If anybody has something really good, whole liter sitting right there.
So me and Joe had conversations recently about. Excuse me, I'm just reading something that I just got.
Go ahead.
I apologize. Anyway, so me and Joe had some conversations previous weeks about Weller 12. As a matter of fact, we were sitting here a couple shows ago talking about, during break, we were talking about Weller 12, and Joe said, I've had a lot of people tell me that the Weller 12, that the Antique 107 is actually better than the Weller 12, and I said, there's no way. There's no friggin' way.
I've heard that quite,
What did
quite
you
a bit.
base that opinion on? Just by word of mouth, or?
Well, okay, so we've been doing this for a while. Okay, so this isn't our first rodeo. We know a lot about whiskeys.
Yes,
okay?
we do.
We know a lot about whiskeys. Do we know everything about whiskeys?
No,
Hell no.
absolutely not.
Okay, but we do know a lot about
cigars.
whiskeys.
And we're not too egotistical to learn more information.
Yeah. And if we're
don't
wrong,
take that in that way.
Yeah,
we're not saying we'll
say
the
we're
absolute
wrong.
end of the
we have no
expert.
problem with
Prove
that.
us wrong. I'm all about learning. So if I say something on the show or whatever, and you comment, "Hey, actually, that was supposed to be this,"
I actually love it when I'm wrong.
do it
because that means I learned
yeah.
something.
You learn something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So me and Joe talked about the 12 compared to the Antique
A
107.
lot of hype on it.
Lot of hype.
Yeah.
So we get to Lizzardville, myself, my wife, and Albert, and the first thing, Steve, our bartender, who we,
Absolutely
who is
adore.
our
Wait.
bartender.
I mean, we learned something that night.
We did.
The Wellers are actually all 8 years old.
Correct. So we turned around. The first thing I order up is a round of Weller 12.
Except for 12.
Okay, so we went ahead. I went ahead and I smelled it. Sidecar came with us as well.
Right.
Anybody who's watched the show knows who Sidecar is. And
That's good.
we did
Side dish.
our nose notes and everything else, and it smells very good, just like a Buffalo Trace product.
Yeah.
And when I tasted it, I was kind of taken back, and I thought, what a unique flavor. But for me, I did not like it. I did not like it.
Places, man.
I did. Oh my goodness, you guys. So I did not. I didn't care for it.
I had 2.
So then I ordered a Lizzardville Pick Antique 107 as my second glass per mine and Joe's conversation.
Lizzardville pick is on
It's-
and I love 107, and I'm never going to say no to it. But that Lizzardville pick is unbelievable.
It's my
That
opinion.
was.
It's better than the actual.
It's better than the actual
yeah, absolutely.
107.
Oh,
I don't.
no doubt, no doubt.
I
This-
buy that
no
every
doubt.
day.
We talked
No
about
doubt.
a burn on this, and it's not a burn. Trust
Yeah,
me, it's not a burn.
it's
but
water.
there is
It's
no
water.
burn.
It's fantastic.
It is so smooth.
And
It's cheap.
I
$5.
thought that the Antique 107 and what we're drinking now, regular Buffalo Trace Weller 107, I was turned off by the Weller 12, and that's not everybody's opinion.
I
but
disagree. Yeah.
you do disagree, and you said that, and I didn't get the 12.
You guys like
I
it.
missed
You
it.
like
I
it.
thought it was a
Oh, I
unique
like it.
flavor.
You and Greg are usually
It's
like.
not that we don't like it. It's the comparison
And
between.
you know what?
I dig
So,
it, man. I liked it a lot.
Do I want?
I like it better than the Special Reserve.
Okay, do I want to hunt Weller 12? Sure, I would like to hunt some Weller 12, but it's not my
Here's
drink.
I'm not gonna. I don't really care if it's actively hunted anymore at this point because it's so hard to get.
It's
and
run its course, pretty much. Is that
Yeah.
what you're
after
thinking?
that tasting, I'm like, Who cares?
Yeah, it was.
Dude,
What they do?
here's a curveball for you.
I like the 107. I'd rather hunt 107's different store picks.
Yeah. What do you got out?
I
agree.
actually brushed my teeth like about 15 minutes prior to that tasting, like when I tasted. So
First time that week.
It was Wednesday.
but again, no, seriously, I liked Weller 12, but
That's
I don't
your
know
opinion.
if brushing my teeth had something to do with the palate change or not. But
You know, that's why it's cool
Whatever.
to do this tonight, to see what's different. You know, I worked all day. I don't know. I had a bunch of stuff to eat at work and stuff like that. You know, my snacks, all that stuff. I'm kind of thinking, oh, maybe was it the work? Maybe I had a really bad cold at that time. Maybe that changed. So it's interesting to do this again. I don't know, man. I think my outcome's going to be the same, but it'll be interesting to see if it changes.
So let's do this. Let's take a commercial break, and let's
didn't
do
drink
some
out of
Weller
it.
12 in our glasses. You guys clean out your glasses,
I already cleaned it out. I
and
watered it.
let's do some Weller
Thank
12,
you.
and
All
we'll
right.
come back.
you can fill it.
Spruce it out, sir.
You got it.
Going there.
Welcome back to the Whiskey Roundtable. I'm your host, Joe Clark, and he's my other co-host.
Big G.
And I'm Albert Santilli.
Karen Helen Keller.
We just poured the Weller 12, and let's get a nose on this, guys. It is strong. To me, I'm going to say it kind of reminds me, right off the initial hit of the nose, is Special Reserve. Very apple-y to me.
It's got a fruity. Now that
Yeah,
you said
very,
that,
very,
it's got
very
a
fruity.
fruity
Yes.
smell to it.
To me, it's like green apples. I see why you like this, Albert.
Yeah.
Because it's
I'm
fruity?
Still not
Is that why?
wavering.
He's a little fruity.
Comes with
Yes,
a-
actually,
Anybody
I
that
get what
buys
you're
a
saying,
bottle
but
of
yes.
Weller 12 gets a free pocket protector. That's all I'm going to say.
so
What do you think?
dude, it's like heavy fruit and apple to me.
I can see green apples.
Yeah,
Let's see where
big
it comes
time.
from,
Just like the Special Reserve.
It's still not as. It doesn't punch me in the face like the 107 though.
No,
it's. The
I get-
I get
still
the apple,
more
but I get a
alcohol.
lot of alcohol on the back end of that nose.
Oh yeah, this is. You better take it easy on this stuff. That's for sure.
All right, guys, let's take a sip. What do you got?
So
on it,
I'm
Greg?
just going to
okay.
go with
Go
what
ahead.
you guys
Yeah.
were saying.
Do your thing. Yeah.
You know, caramel apple, cherry, and 12 other things
That's what I'm
if you can
talking
get
about.
past the syrup thickness. So that's
I
a
got
quick
the
nose.
syrupy,
A quick nose.
yeah.
It's a quick nose. Just jogging down through here. Other people's opinions. This is other people have tried it. Butter cookie, buttered
Interesting.
popcorn,
Ooh,
breaded
no.
candy nuts.
Easy.
Easy, kids.
These nuts.
Easy. So these are some of the notes that are coming up on the Weller 12. So
I wonder if the squirrel had anything to do
Yeah, hit
with
that on the apples, man. Again.
I do. Okay, I get the apple.
Dude, it's heavy on
It
it.
is. Yes, it is heavy on.
It
the
kind of
apple.
drowns everything else out of it.
When you said butter cookie, something just hit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Right.
I get.
I
Butter
do get.
cookie. Like that doesn't make sense, but it does. I get more of like a butterscotch.
I get the caramel. You know, they always have that
To
caramel.
me, it's
too.
like apple and butterscotch.
You know when you've been in like, and I know you guys know because you go there all the time, Bath and Body Works, and you smell all the different perfumes.
Yeah.
You keep smelling it. You need to like clear
I'm not getting all
yourself.
that. I thought he was,
You get the apple? What do you get on it?
Yeah.
It's heavy apple, dude. Heavy apple.
It's still got that like heavy, oily like look to it in texture that the 107
Yeah.
did.
It does have an oily texture
Yeah.
to it.
It's definitely
8
got
years,
nice legs.
right? Well, this is
They're,
12.
they're fast legs on this one.
12.
Man. This is 12 year.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest are 8 year. Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, let's hit it.
Okay, that's it. I was just kind of reading. Okay.
Cheers,
Do you
guys.
want to share some more
Yeah,
information?
No,
so
I
read
was
it.
trying. I wanted to know what it was barreled.
It's good to be here. It's good, very
Let's do it.
grateful.
You ready?
Very grateful. It's
Cheers.
always amazing to me how we go
Can't
from
believe you did
water
that.
to this.
Oh, I drank
There's a
already.
lot of appreciation. So, cheers, everyone.
Let's take
All
a
right,
little
wow.
sip.
Yeah. I still like it, man.
Okay, so
Dude, this has got so much more of a burn than the 107 to me.
No, it's what? It's so weird that everyone, like, I'm like polar opposites from everyone.
I gotta take this in again.
You want some water? Oh, you have water.
You know, so you can go ahead and critique first, and then I'm going to critique second. So
Yeah.
go ahead and then, you know, because mine and your flavor is the same 99.9% of the time, but I'm going to.
I got it.
I know. I'm almost embarrassed.
I'm
I'm such a
gonna come
curveball, but
back.
I'm staying
I'm gonna
true
come
to
back.
like what I taste, man.
Go ahead. buddy. Go ahead.
Because I don't know anything, okay? So the 107, when you taste it, when it first hits, it's smooth. After you swallow it, it warms you up. It's a little warm going down.
I have a different feeling about this.
The 12, as soon as you sip it, it's an instant heat, hot. Once you drink it, it's smooth. It's almost like a flip of the 107 to me.
Okay, so go ahead, Joe, and then I'm going to give you my opinion from Wednesday to today. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
I'm shocked, actually. I'm disappointed in another way again. I don't know what happened Wednesday, but
What happened was,
What
on the
happened?
nose, I'm getting. It's still hotter on the nose. Definitely more alcohol in the nose. I get more alcohol in the nose. It's not as complex to me on the nose. I get a lot of apples to it. It is like a super refined special reserve. It's beautiful.
oh no, you
It
didn't.
is fantastic.
Is it my turn?
No. It's fantastic. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's because it was new to my palate at the time.
Maybe you brushed your
I'm
teeth.
so used to. I'm so used to.
You brush your teeth
I brush
every
my
once
teeth-
in a
I brush
while.
my teeth
I'm
3
just
times a day.
saying,
But
man.
anyway,
That's what I was saying. From
He
the
brushed
get-go.
his tooth.
He goes
I'm
to the,
so used
goes
to
to
the
the
water,
dentist and
but
gets his teeth
you know
brushed.
what? We are comparing our 107, not the Winking Lizard 107.
This is very true.
That's true.
It's a good point.
I would take this Weller 12 over the regular 107 all day. Compared to the Winking Lizard 107, I don't think I could. Because the Winking Lizard 107 trumps this 107 by far. But I love this 107. But comparing now this Weller 12 to the 107 that we have, not a barrel pick, store pick, like the Lizzardville, this is fantastic. I gotta hit it one more time. The more I drink it, the more it kind of mellows out. I get a lot of kind of like a butterscotch, a lot of apple. I get that, oaky age to it too. That barrel, that charred barrel kind of taste in the background after it kind of settles a little bit, which I like. God damn it, this is really good.
All right, Simon Cowell. Let's hear
I think
what
it's
you
a
gotta say.
reversal because of,
What do you got, Greg?
like I'm saying, if we had the Winking Lizard barrel pick here right now, I think it would be a different story. But we're now comparing to this in the real man's world. And Greg, what do you think?
I'm a fan.
I'm a fan. Son of a bitch.
That's
need to
what
get
we
another
waited for?
fucking bottle of this.
He
God
said
damn
it all. Okay, so I get the caramel apple. I get the cherry.
It is a caramel apple. That's
so-
what it is.
You get cherry. You get
I
cherry.
get cherry. I get caramel apple. Okay. I was so turned off by this on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we just
I
had it.
think it's because of their barrel pick of 107 is so good.
It's
Brush
very
my
good.
teeth.
And
This was a
so
lot.
again, our our palates are very similar, and so I just had it again for the second time
We
I've
gotta
ever
go.
had it, and I take back everything that I said.
I was going to say, scratch that, rewind
Scratch
what you
that,
heard
so,
earlier.
I like it. I like it.
Isn't that interesting?
I never did
Weird.
not like it. But for the comparison to the Winking Lizard, I wish we could get a Winking Lizard fucking 107 for one. But the 12 is
I hate
Yeah,
it.
I put my foot in my mouth.
I
Right.
do. I take back everything that I said. I take back.
beautiful.
It's
good.
weird how your palate is. I guess today you like pizza, tomorrow you only like pizza
So-
with pepperoni.
I need another hit.
So what were
Right,
some of the
that's
things you
Heather's,
were?
though.
Beautiful.
What,
You can't take
What
Heather's.
was that?
No, I'm not.
Joe, here I got a splash left. I got a little splash left. You want it?
You don't like it?
No, it's fine, but you'll appreciate it more than I will.
like it? Come back to let me, boy.
So what was it on Wednesday, Greg, when you
I don't know.
tried it that
don't
you
know.
tasted on
It
Wednesday?
is the.
I did.
it's
I'll be
the
honest with
Lizard.
you. So I'll be honest with you. When I first tasted it, I know it's weeded, but I actually tasted corn in it. And that was the first thing I tasted was corn, and I was like, I know there's no corn in there because I know it's weeded. Okay, and I was.
Well, is it?
And
Is
had
it,
I
only,
even
is
said
it
to you-
only a weeded or is it a wheat corn mix?
I don't know, but I
think there is corn in there.
I don't see it. No, double check it. I'll double check it. But I was.
There's straight wheat, and then there's also.
Yeah, no,
you
I
can call a
understand that.
bourbon a weeded bourbon if it's a certain percentage too.
It had a unique flavor. I was not impressed with it. I thought the Antique 107. Where are you going, dog?
But it's different though. The Antique 107 that we had there was a barrel pick and not what you have on the shelf. And this is I'll never stop. This is fantastic. This is one of my favorite drinks. Period. I still love this. But the 12, when you start doing this in this pick versus the single barrel, the barrel pick, now we're on a different story.
I'm
here.
shocked. I'm beside myself thinking this is not what I had on Wednesday. That's exactly how I feel.
So what you guys are saying is next time there's a lottery, you maybe.
I'm gonna have it before then.
You know what? I'm not a fan of sitting in line for a lottery and stuff like that. I'm not going to waste my time like that. And I'm not being arrogant like that, but I don't know. Maybe if I have more time in the future, if my shop takes off and I have and that kind of time. But
Yeah, because
I
you
don't have
guys
that
work
kind of
some
time.
crazy hours. So.
yeah, no, I ain't got that kind of time. We got that in this, and this is more important than sitting in a lottery.
So if anyone's willing to
Jeez.
share,
Yeah, if you guys want to come on the show and be a guest and pour us some more 12, come on in. And that's a rare one, so it can be open.
So
Joe's hating on himself
Send us
now.
a message.
Yeah.
Instagram,
I feel
Twitter,
pumped.
Facebook,
Where's Ashton Kutcher?
YouTube. Send us a private message and come on the show.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
What's mash bill on that?
wanna read it? I'm very shocked. I really am. Because I was so dead set against it that now I'm like, I've had it today. I don't know what the difference is, but it's
So it
really
substitutes wheat for rye, so it still has a. I'm trying to get their site doesn't even really say.
What does it say anything on the bottle?
good. Good question. Let me read it.
Rose, lanolin, almond, cream corn, toasty, vanilla.
Cream corn.
Cream
The
corn.
mid-palate flavor
What did I
is
just
heavily wheated, layered, and moderately sweet. It is very sweet.
Is that a
Long,
review?
oaky. I definitely get the oak on it. An intensively smooth finish. Yeah, it does finish pretty smooth.
So,
Looks like there might be. I mean, it could be some corn in there,
it
man.
doesn't say. Well, okay. So
Hard to find it.
I go back to. I
Foot
go
and
back.
mouth
So I
disease.
said to you when I first tried it.
Foot and mouth.
I just said before I even saw this that I tasted corn. Did I not say that? So there we go. We have company. I don't know what the dogs are barking and maybe sidecars here, but so I said I tasted the corn. It was a unique flavor, and I wasn't sure because when I'm drinking a wheated bourbon, I'm not expecting corn. Now this is our fourth show, so to say, with Wednesday shows, our quick views. I've never had it, and wheated bourbon, I was not expecting the corn. That's what I tasted heavily on Wednesday. Okay, and before we tried it the
Is
second
it the
time.
atmosphere? You think?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna say, I like it. I hate.
I never didn't like
I'm not
it.
a contradictory person. You know that.
Contradictory.
Right. And I said corn. I said that before we even tried it.
Ain't that a
Again.
bitch?
That's
And
what
I
you said you tasted a lot of on
tasted
Wednesday.
a lot of
Yeah.
corn, and I was kind of shocked because it's a wheated bourbon to taste corn. And then you said, well, they make it, but most of just like the Sazerac that I had today, it was straight rye.
Right.
So I was expecting this to be straight wheat, and it is straight wheat, but I tasted the corn, and I was kind of like it's like when you think you picked up a can of Coca-Cola and to find out it's Dr. Pepper, and you kind of take that step back like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
That's how I felt on Wednesday.
Right.
Okay, so now we've had it a second time, and it's completely different.
I honestly think, my opinion, Greg, is the reason why it's completely different is because we don't have their store pick of their bar pick, Lizzardville pick of 107. I think that maybe kind of tainted that a little bit for us because it's so damn good. It's so good. That 107 they have there. Every time I go there, no matter if I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy this, I'm going there to try this, and I'm going to try that again. I have their 107 every single time I go there, and it's fantastic. And I think that maybe that spoiled that for me, but the 12, if you're comparing it to, it's a good drink, man. It is. You can't go wrong. If you're buying at retail, you cannot go wrong with any of the Weller products.
Nope.
Any of the Weller products. Because, that liter of it that we have sitting there was just under $50. So, I mean, that's good. And at $7.50, I believe the retail is $32 or $33. The CYPB is $40.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that yet.
No?
You're
Not
killing
yet.
me.
It's a
Not
special
yet.
moment.
That's at the end of the show. But we have other whiskeys here. Fuck it, we're talking about the CYPB.
That's what
So
I'm
the
talking
CYPB,
White label.
unreal.
So if I have the
I'm glad we stuck around for that.
yeah,
So good.
So if I have the
Austin
story
left.
right, Buffalo
Right when
Trace
they pulled that bottle out.
put out on their website, I
was
think.
listening.
Create
show
your
the next
personal
day.
bourbon.
Create
taking
your
himself.
personal bourbon.
Many and thousands of people voted on what they thought were the best barrels, what level the rick house, what the age, and they ended up having enough, and they were glad and relieved that they picked what they had picked at the time, an 8-year-old on
Because they
whatever
had the
level,
product to
and they
blend
had a
it.
lot of product on hand to
Yeah.
do that with, and bravo, because
And that was fantastic.
oh my gosh, was that good? It was
Fantastic.
really good.
I
It
can't.
was a thick,
It was really
Super
good.
thick,
Sweet.
oily, sweet,
no
90
burn.
proof, right?
90 proof.
90 proof. I mean, it drank as easy as a good Irish whiskey.
It did.
Yes, that's what it reminded me. As even
It
at 90
reminded
proof,
me
it
of
went
Irish
down
whiskey.
like an Irish
And
whiskey.
the first thing I thought of when
Yeah.
I swallowed it was like, man, this tastes like a good Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought.
Fantastic, man.
And,
It was definitely a worldly whiskey.
But at the end of the day, I'm just going to be honest. The Weller 12, I take back everything that I said. Weller 12 has sold me today. But the
CYPB.
PB.
What does that
Um,
stand for?
Create
Create
your
your own-
personal bourbon.
Yeah, create your personal bourbon.
Nice.
But in my, I think I still like the white label better than the 12. But
Yeah.
the 12 is good.
Yeah, agreed.
I can see that hanging
With
out
you
in
guys
our
on that.
collection, and I could see that white
Hopefully
label.
we see that hanging out in
We
our
will
collection.
see that because you know how I
We'll
am.
need two
So-
because Greg won't open one.
I'm not open.
Because I'm ready to open that one right there.
You ain't opening.
I
it.
know
Fuck,
you
trade
are.
that.
So-
I'm ready for another round of the 12.
So I think the.
See, Hank? See what he does?
You're a bad influence,
Oh, I
Hank.
roll, Hank. Sorry, but I'm kind of speechless. I was like when I.
You're probably wondering where the hell we got the other 12. So we had a little bit of a backup of 12 there, too. We were just drinking. That's why we didn't open the leader. So there were other whiskeys on that list
Correct.
that we
There
have
were.
listed here. We have some backups of the backups there. And
Yeah, everything you see on the table, we have backups to the backups. So there's
Backups to the backups to the backups.
Because
The
Greg
backups.
doesn't open anything unless he has a backup.
correct
Backups.
because I'm an
6
asshole.
backups.
Ah, what'd you say, honey? Can you
I
repeat
said
that so everybody
I said
can
I'm
hear it?
an asshole that way
Oh, okay.
because
Gotcha.
of my OCD. That's what I have to. When I start on something, I either go full in or I don't bother with it at all.
Joe, if you could just freeze Greg saying, because I'm an asshole, so like anytime we're in an argument, I can just like hit a
Because I'm
button.
an asshole. Think because I'm an asshole.
I was never an asshole till I got married.
Wow.
That's how.
Shots
That's when I
fired.
became the asshole.
Sharks fired.
Sharks fired.
Sharks fired.
All right, so
So
there's some other whiskeys up there. What are we?
That's what I'm talking
Sharks
about.
fired.
so this is my thought.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your
That's
thought?
going to be my thought tomorrow morning. I'm thinking we had to close out the show, and let's bust into some of this stuff.
We're not closing out the show. We're doing it on the show.
Come on.
Come on.
No, come on, let's
come
do it.
on.
We're doing it on the show, right?
Yeah.
We're doing it on the show, Albert. Oh yeah.
We're doing it
not?
on the show.
We're killing
Karen?
it right now, man.
Yeah, we're doing it on the show. Where are
Oh
we
yeah.
going?
This is a continuation of
part
Lizard-
When
Bill.
did you guys ever listen to anything that I said?
You wanted to do the continuation. We did the continue. This is the continuation. The whole continuation.
We need an encore. Here, wait.
There you go. That's right. Okay, so you want me to do the news real quick, and then we'll continue on. All right, so I got some whiskey
Wait,
news for
Joe's
you
going to
guys
do the
today.
news real quick. Let's see how this goes.
Let me get ready.
Yeah, because that's how it went the last 2 episodes, and I'm sorry, guys, but I got some bullet points here. Turn that off.
Yeah, go.
So we got,
Can you turn that up a
for
little bit?
Whistle Cake, some sad news. Dave Pickerel, sorry if I don't say that right, but Dave Pickerel dies. He died. He was the master distiller behind Whistle Pig. He died on Wednesday, November 1st. He was also the master distiller behind Metallica's whiskey, Blackened. So, interesting. I might want to try that sometime.
Gotcha.
He was attending the Whiskey Fest and died. It was in San Diego. And he died of natural causes, they said.
He was younger, wasn't
Yes, he
he?
was.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
younger,
yeah. He worked for Maker's Mark for 14 years.
I like Maker's Mark.
Yes. There are certain ones. I'm not a fan of the regular, but
I like it
we'll get
all.
into that in later shows.
I think they put out a good
He was a bourbon and whiskey, pretty much like a rock star, and he will be missed by the entire industry, I'm sure, because it takes a lot to be a good distiller, especially for major brands like
Sure.
Maker's Mark.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's
He
hit
was
a lot
known
of...
as the guy who sparked the revival and boom of rye whiskey in the early 2000s. He kind of brought back rye whiskey.
Gotcha.
Nice.
And then back to we're going to go back to Old Ezra Barrel Proof. It won Forbes Best Whiskey over Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof, Henry McKenna Bottled and Bond,
Nice.
Old Forester 1920,
What?
Really?
Russell's Reserve 10.
Oh my goodness.
I think that's a really interesting show idea because I'm not sure about that because everybody has an opinion like everybody has an asshole. So I'd like to. We have pretty much all these, except I think the only one we don't have is the new Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof,
I'll go pick
which
it
is
up.
it's on the shelf, so we can get it.
I'll go pick it up.
And we're going to do a show. We're going to do Old Ezra versus the Barrel Proof, which we have, versus JD Barrel, Henry McKenna Bibb, Old Forester 1920, Russell's Reserve 10, and let's have our decision on who's the best.
I'd like one of us to do the pour and do a blind tasting.
Okay.
That'd
That'd be
fun.
interesting.
Sure.
Yeah,
Wow.
because sometimes when you know what it is, when you go into it, you've already got your head into it.
Expectation.
Sure.
So maybe try
Sure.
that on a blind tasting.
Be one of you guys.
Sure.
For sure. Yeah, one of you guys be blindfolded.
I'll pour.
Okay.
I'll pour because
Oh,
what do I know?
Let the blind girl pour.
So there is, we like Speyside whiskeys here. We like Speyside and Highlands. Speyside is usually our favorite. We do get into the Highlands like your Dalmore cigar malt, Hank. And so I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's a Speyside. It's Craigellachie. It's Craigellachie. It's a Speyside whiskey from Scotland. They released a 51-year-old bottling
Wow.
for free.
What?
For free. So they were doing it at tastings and taste testings and publicity, just like Buffalo Trace came to Lizzardville this past Wednesday. So they did stuff like that, and they gave it away for free. There was no charge. 51-year-old whiskey, because they were kind of sick of the whole industry and releasing these things. Oh, we want $25,000 for that bottle.
Right.
So it was to combat ridiculous prices for aged whiskeys, and I say bravo. And last in the news is that we were there, we talked about a lot to the show. I was going to mention it here. We were at the Lizzardville on Wednesday, CYPB, the Create Your Personal Barrel Whiskey, the New Weller, or the White Label as we call it now. And it was fantastic. It's definitely a favorite of mine. And I heard that we're only going to get 100 bottles next year in Ohio, and it's at $40, so I don't know how the hell we're going to get. It's not he said it's not supposed to be in a lottery, but I don't know how the hell you don't do that in a lottery at $40 for 100 bottles. But okay, back to the original part of the show. We are doing the continuation of Wednesday night. What is next, Greg?
Elmer T. Lee, son.
Okay, let's do Elmer T. Lee.
All right, I'm going to pour it up.
Do it. All right, we'll pour it up.
Which Elmer T. Lee are you? Oh, that Elmer T. Lee. Okay. What do I know? I'm new at this.
Well, in North Carolina, way back in the hills, lived my old pappy and he had him still. He put his white light till the sun went down, and he put him a jug in his basket.
I remember when Greg first gave me this Elmer T. Lee on the porch, man. It was a real game changer.
I like it.
Remember that? It was nice,
I
like,
don't know that I've had this
just before fall. It was a nice summertime day. The wind was blowing, nice breeze in the air.
Thank you.
I said, have you ever tried Elmer T. Lee? No, sir.
Is Buffalo Trace also?
Yes, it is.
All of it.
Everything here is Buffalo Trace.
Even Eagle Rare, is that Buffalo Trace?
Yes.
And we're back, the Whiskey Roundtable, and our probably record-breaking longest show ever, which is fine because we got a lot of good information here, and it's a continuation. Usually we get this long around we're with guests, but hey, you know what? Sorry guys, you're just gonna have to sit back, drink some whiskey, and enjoy the show. We have Elmer T. Lee today. On the nose, what do you guys get? And Greg's gonna probably get us some nose notes here to refer to, but. Elmer T. Lee is, and she already tried it. Elmer T. Lee,
I had to.
fuck the nose. We're going right to the.
What are you playing?
I smelled it like 30 seconds ago. What are you talking about?
It's really hot on the nose right off the rip. What's the proof on that? I'm gonna grab that real quick. That's a 90 proof also. Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. We had talked about Buffalo Trace on our first show, and I gave history about the Buffalo Trace distillery, and Elmer T. Lee actually joined this distillery there at Buffalo Trace in 1949.
So, tasting notes. The nose brings notes of clove, vanilla, old leather. I don't know if that's old leather chair or shoes. Fruit, honey,
Chastity belt.
vanilla with light spiciness, and a long, warm finish. So, give it a
I'm
smell,
struggling
kids.
to get through the alcohol, but if I open my mouth a bit,
This is heavy alcohol.
if I
this
open
is
my
heavy.
mouth, I
very
can
heavy.
get more of what was just mentioned by Greg. You know, some of the leather and some of the darker tone.
Oaky,
You know,
heavy,
some
leathery,
heavy notes in there.
There's no fruit smell at all.
spicy and peppery.
Yeah.
Oaky, heavy, leathery, spicy, and peppery to me. But it's completely different when you taste it. All right, let's try it.
All
Take
right,
a
give it a
swig.
shot.
And it's as smooth as that.
Wow.
That's what I like about it.
It's one of
Wow.
those. It's what I call the tricksters.
I like
They
that
hit you on the
drinkability.
nose one way, and it's like the royal salute. It hits you on the nose one, you're like, I don't know about this one, man. This ain't gonna. And then you drink, you're like, okay, all right, you fucking prove me wrong. It's great.
Yeah, that's bomb, man. That's
I'm going to
really-
hit it again, kids.
Elmer T. Lee
Oh,
is probably
absolutely.
one of my favorites.
It's a fantastic whiskey. Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow! I just took a sip, and the legs on this are
It's really good.
Super
Yeah.
long,
Yeah.
Long,
slow.
Look at that.
It's heavy.
Look at that right there. Look at that. Holy
It's like,
shit.
I like to call this like the younger brother to Blanton's.
Okay. I could roll with that.
It's definitely different. Definitely different than any of the things that we tasted so far with the Weller.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Oh, it's completely different. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is super spicy to me. It's not sweet.
No, it is the oaky. I do get the oaky
It's an
flavor to
oaky,
it.
spicy, peppery, very heavy on the tongue, which I like. That's why I love Buffalo Trace. I like that heavy drink. The heaviest one is obviously the Stag Junior that we have. This is real nice, man. I could drink this all day. It smells more alcohol-y
It
than
does.
drinking
Right,
it.
yeah.
When you drink it, it's...
It
The-
doesn't have that.
But it's a fast finish. This is it's there and gone quick. You know what I mean? To me, it doesn't have a long finish like the 107. It's quick.
It doesn't have the heat either.
No, it
like a
doesn't.
lot
No,
of the
no.
times you
Yeah.
drink it and
Right.
you can feel it, but this you don't feel it.
After I drank it, some of that the nose calmed down a bit for me. Like it's more
Yeah.
approachable.
Okay.
I don't know why that is, but that's what I find.
It's a nice drink.
It is very good. What?
I think if I didn't know any better and I tried this, I don't know that I would connect it to the Buffalo Trace Distillery because it's so different, in my opinion. It's
To me, it still has that little bit of a familiar smell, but I think maybe it's because we're so experienced in Buffalo Trace, but I can understand that.
it's
It's
very
funny
good.
because Albert brought a flask of something last week.
Very Old
and,
Barton.
Very Old Barton. He's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm kind of getting a tinny smell from the flask." But I was like, "Buffalo Trace-ish kind of smell," because it does have a Buffalo Trace kind of smell. It's
It
owned by
does.
same parent company, Sazerac. Very Buffalo Trace smell to it. It's very familiar in adventure. I was like, "Oh, maybe not. Wait, hold on. Wait, maybe not." And then I was like, "Yo, it's definitely Buffalo Trace something." And he said, "No, it's very Old Barton." I'm like, "Okay." So I was in the same parking lot as Greg would say.
Right. I just want to keep going. I'm just looking for something here.
Karen, what do you think? What's your favorite so far? Not
My 107 is still, I think, the favorite so far.
Okay. Wow. All right. Good. Nice.
My-
Albert, favorite?
Favorite so far?
He's gonna go to 12.
No.
Really? Wow. Shocked.
I like the Elmer Chili
Or
the
shock
best.
face.
I like the Elmer Chili.
Okay.
Joe?
Then the 12.
It's tough.
I have to go back down the line.
Tough.
Okay, so you said something very interesting.
If we had Lizzardville,
No, just out of what you tried tonight.
okay.
So you said something very interesting earlier.
Well, or 12.
The Elmer T. Lee is compared to Bland's. So you said that right at the beginning.
It reminds me of it.
That's what they're saying.
It's
very
like
similar
like
to
its
the
younger
Bland's.
brother.
Yeah, exactly. And they're saying that here. So
Wow.
I was
Okay.
trying to get the just curious how it's distilled, but it's not giving me that information. So
Well, we don't have to get into all that. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of our members are pretty familiar
new
with this
charred
stuff.
oak
So.
barrels. Whole trace, man. 50% corn, 12 to 50% rye malted barley. New charred barrels.
You definitely get that.
So
I definitely get the a little bit of rye on that one.
yeah, I get it. Yeah,
It does. Now that you say that, it kind of sparks the it does have a rye. Even though it's not real high on the rye, it kind of tastes like some of the other ryes we have. You know.
That's what makes it different from the other Buffalo Traces, I think.
Very good.
Okay, Greg. So
All right.
what's next?
What's next? You know what? Let's try that E.H. Taylor.
Okay. Wow. This is a E.H. Taylor is definitely Mr. Albert here.
Party
Bert.
people, how you feeling?
Oh yeah. I'm going.
Which
How
EH Taylor are
you guys
breaking
feeling?
into?
You buzzed? I'm buzzed.
Feeling
I'm
good.
feeling good.
I'm
So-
fine.
I'm feeling good.
Going with the
I'm glad too because I had a
EH
hell of a day. I had a busy day. I had about 5 minutes to get lunch.
Good.
Literally.
Keep your ass out of trouble.
That's right.
What do you mean? It gets me more.
All right, so we're going to do the small batch.
Problems.
Small batch E.H. Taylor. The small batch, and everybody's got their.
I am rinsed out. I just did water. Speaking about E.H. Taylor, Albert is a huge fan of E.H. Taylor.
Yes,
E.H. Taylor products are all bottled in bond, correct?
Oh, Karen, give me your glass.
Yeah, they are. I think.
Yes. Correct, Greg?
What's that?
All E.H. Taylors are bottled in bond.
Correct.
So, okay, here I am, dummy bourbon drinker. What is bottled in bond? What does that mean when you say that?
It is always 100 proof.
Okay.
They're always consistent. It is under government regulations and control. As to produce there's a whole. We actually did the history of bottled in bond on one of our. So basically, it's a very consistent, always bottled 100 proof, at least 4 to 6 years in age. So it's probably the same as theirs. I don't know what the age is exactly on that one. It probably says somewhere on that
Let me see if I can figure it out.
sleeve
for you,
there that
son.
we have. So
You do like a snoring noise while he's.
I know. Don't pay attention to me.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
ooh, heavy caramel.
was
I know a
gonna
lot of
say,
people
I'm
say
gonna
that
go in
about
on it.
bourbon. Super caramel on that one.
For some
Totally agree
reason,
with you.
For
Wow.
some, I don't know 100%. I'm going to look, but for some reason, 6 year comes to mind. But I'm going to look it up.
You said caramel, and I'm thinking caramel apple.
Bam! I mean, oh yeah.
It's caramel apple.
Wow, that
all
hits you
the way.
real quick. That's a very aromatic. Yep. Really good. This is Albert. This is up Albert Street right here.
Oh yeah, there's just so many good memories when I had my
Listen
first
back
bottle of
on.
EH.
It's not like the time that you stole that kid's cell phone, was it?
No. I just
Okay.
this isn't really. I was just down in New Orleans when I just got jumped, man, because it's a little rough down there. They're recovering from the hurricane. All the beautiful people down there, and I was leaving the liquor store and I got this $100 bottle of liquor. You know, bought a couple bottles in a black bag, and I could hear people murmuring in the streets. You know, what's in the black bag? You know, this and that. And I'm like, they're not talking to me. They're talking to each other. And it was a little sketchy, man. I'm waiting for the lift to pick me up. I'm trying to get out of the street
You by
corner.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm by myself, and I got a gold watch on. So, but yeah, New Orleans is where I tried my first E.H. Taylor. So,
Cool.
it all started.
Yeah.
It's good.
Nice.
That wasn't really that cool. Good story, but
Well, the moral of the story is don't walk by yourself
Well,
in,
this
in
one
New
time,
Orleans with a
I was in
bag.
Cleveland.
Yeah, I got the caramel apple. I don't know if it's apple or I'm just smelling that out of the caramel, but
Alcoholic too.
a little bit. A little bit.
Less than the Elmer tea.
Definitely.
At 10 points higher.
What do you mean? What now?
I get alcohol hit to it, but it's less than the Elmer tea on the nose as far as the alcohol. It's 10 points higher.
It definitely does not
Perhaps.
have the heat alcohol smell that the Elmer T. Lee had.
Elmer Tea Lee was very drowned by that. Yeah,
Mhm.
but it tastes
Yeah,
very
but
good.
once
It's very
I
good.
sipped
Very,
it,
very-
it was
Elmer tea
more
is very good.
approachable.
What's that?
The smell.
Elmer tea?
Yeah, once I sipped the Elmer tea.
Oh, sure. No,
The
no.
nose was more
It's
of
a
everything
trickster.
around it,
It's
so,
like
yeah.
the nose and the tongue don't agree completely. Yeah.
So this will be interesting once we try it, but you know, this isn't the single barrel, right? Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Any
This is a
age
small
statement?
batch, I believe.
Yeah, don't worry
Yeah.
about it, man. Don't
So
worry.
I'm going to assume, for some
Well, it's got to
reason,
be at least 4 to 6 years.
correct. I'm going to say that it's 6 year, and I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But for some reason, the first thing that came to me was 6 year age. So I'm going to stick with 6 year age. But we know it's 4 to 6 for sure. But I'm going to say it's 6 year.
Somebody knows for sure, please let us
Yeah, let
know
us
so
know.
we can correct ourselves going
Let's
forward.
hit it. Let's hit it.
Oh my God, it smells.
Smells good, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like any bottled in bond product at 100 proof goes down really smooth.
So,
It's a quick finish. It's there and gone.
you know, the nose they're saying
I like
is
it, I like it, man.
butterscotch,
Punch to
caramel.
Yeah. I get the butterscotch a lot on that one.
I
Big
do too.
time.
So the palate is plump dried raisins, lightly charred oak, vanilla, and that's
I get the butterscotch and the vanilla, and that's about it.
I
I don't
wonder
get a lot of the oak.
I get the oak.
Just a little bit in the aftertaste
so
of it.
they're saying on the finish, vanilla, light tobacco, leather, pepper, isolated burn. You know, that's your
Almost like
spiciness.
I guess you could get almost Albert like that kind of pearl tobacco kind of taste to it. Yeah, sweet tobacco.
I feel like I'm at a rave with it.
Still looking just for the heck of it. The
Yeah,
year,
the
but it's not
butterscotch.
showing
I
it.
get a lot of that.
Yeah, I do too.
It's just it's sweet to me.
It's so weird the way that the smell and the taste kind of.
Differentiate from each other.
It's almost like they do a switch.
Yeah.
The smell is so sweet, and you taste it, and you get that instant kind of alcohol hit.
Right.
But then after it goes down, it's smooth again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so weird how it changes like that.
Yeah. It's really good.
Okay, I apologize, guys. I don't mean to be flat over here, but I don't see the aging. It's driving me crazy because I can't find it. But for some reason, 6 year comes to mind. I don't know why.
You know, it's
but
bottled
that's-
in bond. You know
right,
the
it's
the
4 years at least.
Right. You know what it's supposed to be. And it met the criteria, so it is what it is at that point.
I'm gonna hit mine a second time, kids.
I'm going to
Oh, yeah.
hit it a third
Cheers.
time, fourth time.
Very good.
It's delightful.
I
It
like
is
it.
very,
Shit.
very, very,
Really
very good. So I had my first E.H. Taylor rye was actually with Albert, and I had an opportunity to buy a bottle of rye, and I passed it up because I was in a hurry. But that's a whole different story. But then during my travels, we were able to find the small batch and the rye and the I forget the other one that we got, the single barrel, and so if you look on Buffalo Trace's Buffalo Trace under the E.H. Taylor line, you're going to see they have 10 different E.H. Taylors out.
Wow.
So check that out. I think I
see
think I
that,
counted it
what
right.
we don't
but
have is 4 grain.
4 grain. There's 4 grain. There's seasoned wood, cured oak, warehouse, sea tornado surviving, old-fashioned sour mash, straight rye, barrel-proof, single barrel, and small batch.
Okay.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different ones out.
I see this also won a gold medal at the LA
Because
International
there's some new
Spirits
ones.
competition.
There are some new ones out that aren't on this list. So which I
I like the bottle, man. I like the marketing and
I do
the
too.
tube it comes
Yeah,
in.
it's
very
cool.
cool
Yeah,
bottle.
every time it's like the Yellowstone kind of. That's how Scotch is bottled a lot. The marketing of it and how it's in the tubes and the sauna tubes and stuff like that. Yeah, I like it. It's
I find it
fantastic.
interesting they say it's mingled with butterscotch and licorice. I don't get any licorice in there.
I don't taste any licorice. Greg, licorice?
I didn't taste any licorice either.
Albert, licorice?
No, I don't get any licorice.
Okay.
It is really stronger on the nose, man. It's harder than the Elmer T. Lee.
You think
But
it's
once-
harder?
Once you drink it, though, I get some of that spice.
To me, it was lighter than the Elmer Tea.
The smell was lighter than the Elmer T. Lee, but when you taste it, you get that instant alcohol taste, and it goes away.
Do you like the Elmer Tea over the small batch?
I do. I'm just really sticking to the Elmer T. Lee. Like, I don't know. I had a good experience tonight with the
Okay.
Elmer Tea.
Okay.
For some reason. I really like the 12-year Buffalo Trace. So far it's been Elmer Tea, 12-year, maybe E.H. Taylor, and then the 107.
Okay. All right.
gonna go with the 107. It's still my top. This E.H. Taylor.
Considering how hard Weller 12 is to get at this point, I'm going to say my top drink is still. The Weller 12 surprised me tonight. Definitely was really good. But it's not hard to get Weller 107 store picks, which we can order and stuff like that. And I think we have one.
What's that?
A store pick 107? Do we have a store pick 107?
Antique?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, so we'll have to get one. They're not hard to get. I would choose the Lizzardville 107 over the Weller 12, but I choose the Weller 12 over our 107. Considering how hard it is to get the Weller 12, I'm going to say my start tonight is still 107 so far.
That's where I'm at. 107 is still my star.
Looks like Greg's ready to jump into Stag Junior. It's our bottle is at what, 131.9?
You guys are getting out of my league with that one.
Yeah, what's that? 138
You were very close.
proof?
Very close. It's 131.9.
Okay.
Put your lighters down, boys.
Well, let's
Let's try
give
it
that
out.
a pour. Whoosh.
Try it up. Last one of the night, kids.
Last one.
So I got a full day tomorrow.
Full day.
I got dad stuff to do tomorrow.
Oh. Gotcha.
Thank you, sir. All right. Excellent stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, kids. So I just did some quick on the Stag. So our tasting notes, which you're all going to be surprised. Number one, Stag is very heavy. Okay,
Yes.
right out of the gate. Okay.
But you can tell just by looking at the color in the bottle.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are your tasting notes, okay? Rich, sweet, chocolate and brown sugar flavors. Bold rye spiciness. The finish lingers with hints of cherries, cloves, and smokiness. Now that the rye that we had today, the Thomas Handy, that was very smoky. I shouldn't say very smoky, but that was the first thing I smelled.
It is sweet. I get that.
I get a sweet smell out of that. Yep.
I can agree with the brown sugar.
Yeah.
It's strong,
Yeah.
man. I know it's for a fact it's going to be strong. I was drinking Stag
Oof.
Junior over at Wednesday night.
It's very complex. There's a lot going in on that one. It's very heavy. I mean, that's like Castrol 1030 going into that thing. Man.
Enough to power that Kia Stinger?
Yeah.
Oh! No, she didn't.
Not enough.
No, she didn't. All
Not
right.
enough.
I'm hitting it. I'm hitting it, boys.
Let's do it. Wow.
Ooh,
That is fantastic.
it is good.
That is fantastic.
Very good. I like it. What are you tasting, son? What are you tasting?
Tree bark.
I don't taste the chocolate.
He said
It's-
tree bar.
I taste nothing but heat. Nothing but heat.
Really? You got
Heat
this-
and alcohol. That's all I get out of that.
It is good.
I get the brown sugar.
Strong.
I get the sweetness.
Heavy
And
brown
heavy.
sugar.
I don't get the clove. I smell cherry, but I didn't taste it. That's
I
just-
get heavy brown sugar,
Okay.
oak. I get a lot of oak on the nose on that one. Smoky, very smoky on the nose. Dude, brown sugar describes that one big time.
Yeah. I can
Brown sugar, sugar cane.
sugar tree bark, man. Was
Start
like coming
singing the
from the
Rolling
oak.
Stones here in a
Like
second.
that's some. No, seriously. Tree bark.
You have
like,
to taste it so many times to get. It's so complex.
As soon as you said brown sugar, that resonated with me.
It's so good.
I
It's
get,
in
I
there.
get,
It's
I
just
get,
tasty, man.
I get the sweet. I can.
It's super sweet. The sweetness drowns out the high alcohol content of that one. It really does. It drowns it out. For me, it does. Me and Greg are very used to this high proof. I'm gonna clear my palate here.
When I first tried it, it was nothing but alcohol, and I couldn't do it. I took a second pass at it, and it was sweet at first.
If
That
it wouldn't
heat
kill
comes
you, I'd
back to
drink
me.
all night.
I get.
So you tried it again and nothing?
I tried it again, and it wasn't as hot at first, but it was sweet at first, and then after I swallowed it, it was like, it's too much for me.
Want me to finish that for you?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Pass that down, would you please?
Dude, this is, to me,
Right.
it doesn't hit like that to me. Is that because we're
not,
used to it?
It's not bad. It's just, the proof of it is just, it's too much for me.
It's good. I mean, that's what we drink is a high proof.
I mean, I love this.
Any of y'all that know us personally know that if it's not 100 proof or more, we're so diverse in the upper proofs. Sometimes we forget that they make an 86 proof or a 90 proof. You know that this is what we drink.
The stag is so good.
It is good. It is good.
It's so good.
That's definitely something you have to build up to.
Oh my God, yeah, you do. You can't introduce a whiskey drink, something that's new to whiskey. If you hit them with this, they'll never come back.
You'll ruin them.
They'll never come back.
Yeah,
But
speaking, I can agree to that.
this is for the experience. So how does? I know you didn't have George T. Stag tonight, but the Thomas Handy Sazerac.
Unbelievable.
How did that
Unbelievable.
compare to the Sazerac rye?
So I didn't have. So anyway, long story short, Frank, who had the bottle that he sent us last week, we have plenty of Sazerac rye here. We have an open bottle that's a little less than half full. He's never had Sazerac rye,
But he's had Thomas Handy.
but he's had Thomas Handy. So I'm giving him the open bottle that we have, so he
Is that
can
on the
compare.
bar?
So it's on the bar that he can compare. He's going out of town for a week or so to visit his family and for the holiday. So I said, listen, I'm going to give you that open bottle of Sazerac rye to compare to. So that, in my opinion, it's apples and oranges. The Thomas Handy compared to the standard Sazerac rye is apples and
Really?
oranges. Yeah.
So, Albert, what'd you think about the stag?
You get that.
Are you speechless?
You ever see Edward Scissorhands when he tries alcohol for the first time and he's like,
So we have a few of these. Albert, tell me, is this a good shot?
a little higher? There you go. That's a good shot right there.
We have quite a few of these. And so to refresh your memory here, this is it. We're calling the show after this.
Wait, if you're doing that, and I already had Tom Hardy, you got to pass that over.
Tom
Handy.
Forrest?
Whatever.
Hot sucks,
Jack. We're gonna put that in the still. Now you listen to her, Howard. Howard,
Thank you.
a little something from your preacher friend. Y'all better take it easy on that jar then.
Like a separate.
Yeah, that's fine.
Goddamn you, Howard. You're all right now. Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm sitting here writing down my picks in order, and I started to write George T. Stag, but this is Stag Jr. Correct?
Chi-Chi Stag.
Yeah.
So George T. Stag is a different.
Yes.
Is
it's
it part of
the
Buffalo
Buffalo
Trace?
Trace
Like-
Antique Collection.
Correct. So just
Okay.
like the Thomas Handy Sazerac rye, and then so I always say that the Sazerac rye here is the core, the baby Sazerac, as you say.
Baby Saz.
Baby Saz. So
Okay.
now I'm all confused here. What am I drinking?
That's your stag. That's your baby sass.
Man, that's good.
Yeah, stag is good. Have to reset that palate too. Ooh, the nose is nice. What?
I can't do the stag. I can't. It's
You
just.
gotta work
it's,
up to it.
Yeah.
Man, that smells good.
Oh,
too.
that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had the Thomas Handy today, the first thing I smelled was smoke. You know, charred barrels. I smelled the charred barrel. It was,
How old is it? Does it give an age statement on it? Or?
No, I didn't look up the age statement. I was trying to look at usually the Buffalo Trace website they just give you the the vitals, if you will. They don't.
Right.
So here they're saying. Hang on one second. Tasting notes: clove, vanilla, anise, pepper, citrus, licorice. The Thomas Handy.
On this one, I do get a licorice to it.
Oh, let me check
Smell
it out.
It
do.
smells
Okay, there is a
fantastic.
Yeah, I get it.
You do get a licorice on
Smells
this one.
fantastic.
You do get a licorice. You do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
do.
citrusy,
Yeah,
licoricey.
yeah. And that's what's listed.
Oh yeah, okay. It took a couple whiffs
Yeah.
to get there, but it's in there.
Let's take a
It's in
swig.
there.
Let's do it. Let's swig it. Beautiful. So smooth.
Oh, what a nice transition,
Beautiful.
Oh,
So-
no, that's good.
For a $27 bottle of booze, you can't fuck with that.
though. I like the cork top. It's got a cork.
Great bottle.
You know, it's not a twist
great
off like the
advertising
Weller.
to it.
So that's
Yeah.
cool.
I don't get a lot of rye in there.
You're right. It is not like your typical rye. I don't know why that is, but it
Okay,
is.
so we've had this bottle open for like 2 years.
Oh,
Okay.
God. Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
So it just dawned on me now, and this was when I bought it 2 years ago.
a pick.
This is actually a pick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it was a pick.
Is it really?
It is. A Vino Fine Wine and Spirits pick out of New York, and we were in New York almost 3 years ago.
Yep.
3 years ago?
New York City?
New York City.
New York City.
You called me.
Yeah, when did we
We were
when
on
did
the
we go
phone.
see the Yankees? The Indians whooped the Yankees' butts, by the way.
So this is actually a store pick. So
Whoop.
shame on me. So this is really good. So the Thomas Handy that I had today, besides a different, not being a store pick, the Thomas Handy was fantastic. It really was.
Oh,
He
amazing.
poured me a
Jealous.
long.
Garbage. Shit. Turd of a
He-
fucking
Jealous.
bottle. Turd bottle.
He poured
Garbage.
me. He
Tom
poured
Hardy.
me a long
Paul,
pour.
Paul,
He
Paul.
poured me a
Take a
long
picture.
pour.
Can you just put a picture
And
of him up there?
he's never had the standard Sazerac
can do that
rye,
for
so
you, Karen.
I
he's
think
gonna be
he'll be shocked.
he's gonna be because I'm giving this to him. Okay,
All right.
and this is a store pick, and he's gonna be blown away.
Personal
Very
favorite, always.
similar
Great movie.
to the Thomas Handy.
Really?
This is
Really?
again. This is store pick. Very similar.
So even though I didn't have any today, I ain't
So-
far off.
You're not far off.
Okay.
But
Okay
I'm going
with
to
that.
tell you, you will smell the smoked charred barrel in the Thomas Handy.
I'm sure.
Absolutely.
You
It's
will.
much.
You smell.
But
sure
the
Everybody, and even Frank.
I'm sure the
When,
aging
when,
is
when I said that to him,
versus.
he picked up his glass
This
and
one
smelled
here.
it, and he kind of looked at me like, you're
There
right.
was a smoky, but as soon as and I saw a couple people smell
But this-
smell it tonight.
my
the
baby Saz. I love the baby Saz.
Dankeschön.
We got a whole fucking case over there. So
But wait, hold on. He's showing me Tom Hardy. Over
He ain't
there.
lying. Got literally a whole case
very
of
good.
it.
So we.
It's just amazing right there. Anyway, the Thomas Handy it did have a smoky smell to it, but it also smelled
That
smooth.
is so
I just
good.
caught a little bit. I just caught a
Ooh.
hint of smoke on that. Believe it or not.
No, it does. It does.
I
Yeah.
just caught a hint
Where'd
of
he
it.
go?
Right when I was swallowing. I get that quick before I swallow. I did taste it.
You like it?
I did smell a little smoke on it.
The Sass?
Yeah.
Love it. I think it's
Albert,
great.
you like the Sass?
Oh yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, we're gonna end this tonight. This is the Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Clark.
Big G.
And I'm Bert Tillett.
And I'm Karen Helen Keller.
Just going to remind you people out there, drink responsibly.
And be safe.
If you have any
Drink
questions,
well.
if you have any questions, anything you want to critique us on, please reach out. As long as it's constructive and not being personal, gladly we'll accept that. And anybody who wants to be on our show, you know how to get a hold of us. Till then, we'll see you next week. Have a good day.
We're out!